see. Let's turn this on here. I am seeing a whole ton of things because I'm on one little tiny screen. All right, looks like we're feeding through to the folks out there. So let me start by doing this, everyone. Welcome to the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. According to the Kazakhstan Gazette, this is the #1 podcast in existence anywhere in the world, in any language or any format. The Who Moved My Freedom podcast. We talk about go ahead.
They're the most trustworthy source in news.
Yeah, the Kazakhstan Gazette. Yeah, don't you read that every day?
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally don't even know if that actually exists.
Maybe.
Anyway, so welcome to the show here. We talk about 2A stuff, freedom, whatever the heck we want to. We're dudes, usually, most of the time. Sometimes we have some ladies on here. You know, sometimes there's some, I don't know. I don't know if we've ever had any ambiguity on here, but, you know, hey, we are welcoming to all people as well. And all races and all alien planets that you come from, as long as you can get here in your starship.
You sure? Because I thought we were going to protest when the aliens get announced.
No, I'm trying to trick the aliens into.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you're welcome to come here.
And we steal the spaceship.
Yeah, you definitely are welcome in my neighborhood. We will definitely not steal your spaceship and travel the world.
No,
the universe, the known universe.
Yeah. So listen, let me do all this. Go to hankstrange.com, sign up for the email list. Lola works really hard on that. I'm actually coming from, you heard Babyface P there, I'm actually coming from Casa de la P.
There you go.
Which, I like that name. So make sure you check out hankstrange.com. Look for Lola's deals on there. Also, we've got links to U.S. Law Shield, and you guys can check them out. They hooked us up with this Florida gun law book. So if you're in Florida and you have any possibility of seeing me because I refuse to pay for shipping, I will hook you up with one of these if you want one.
But you don't realize shipping gets expensive.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pay to ship. And when I say Lola,
yes,
I don't ship anything.
Is it paying for the shipping or going to the post office?
I'm not doing none of those.
Painful experiences.
Right.
So I'm not doing any of those. All right, listen, let's get the show kicked off here. Let me smash the opening scene right now.
Welcome back to the Hank
All right, guys.
Situation.
Welcome to the show. Make sure you subscribe, smash the thumbs ups, ring the bell so you can be notified every time we go live. We are live. We have a new guest here for the first time. Smash Time's joining us. We do this thing called jazz hands. I don't know if you've seen it.
I know.
Hands. Everyone, I don't care how macho you are. You have to do it. Let's see. Look at that. Smash Time doing the jazz hands.
Hey.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We also have Babyface P joining us. There he goes. And of course myself and all of you out there. Big shout out to Walther Arms down there that you guys see for sponsoring us. We appreciate them doing that. Hold on, I got to read this whole thing in here. Podcast number 751, Smash Time on YouTube and Babyface P. That's the show. That's how we're going to do it. So we've never met before, right? Up until like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, we go way back.
Right.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Welcome to the show, man. Thanks for...
Oh, man, I'm really glad to be here. Over the last couple of weeks, I've become a huge fan of this podcast. And I told you before, you're probably the most eclectic person I've seen on YouTube in a long time.
That's a good way to describe it.
That's how we're trying to do it.
One minute he's quoting, like Shakespeare, and then he's going on like old 90s gangster movies. Yeah, it's old movies, and then he's talking about old rap songs, and then it's all over the place, and it's crazy. I kind of like.
Oh, okay.
I can dig it.
All right, cool, man. Thanks, I appreciate that. Now, how did we actually link up? I think I've seen you in the chat, but I think I put up a community post or something, right?
You put a community post and you said, who would you like to see me interview next? Or what was your favorite interview from this last week?
Right.
And I put in there, Smash Time's interview in 2 weeks from now. And it's 2 weeks.
You must have learned the secret.
Yeah.
Hey, you have to put yourself out there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. I actually enjoyed that. I remember looking through it. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's funny, you know. And then I looked at the channel. I was like, oh, this guy seems cool. Looks like you're into cars and stuff like that. Let me see. I'm going to share your YouTube channel with the folks out there who don't know what we're talking about. I'll just pull up the YouTube channel, and you guys can go over and subscribe at the same time while you're subscribing to Babyface P, also on the YouTubes, if you haven't do that. So there you go, Smash Time. Lola was saying the easiest way to find it is just all caps Smash Time. Over here on this page that I'm showing, I'm not signed in, so I'm not subscribed there, but I am subscribed to the channel. And it looks like you're into gun stuff, like you're talking about eclectic, which sounds like HGTV. When Lola and I looked at HGTV, that was her least favorite thing. She was like, every home is so eclectic. This is an eclectic home. But it's not a bad word, and it doesn't bother me. But it does look like you're into cars and guns and stuff like that. Is that accurate?
Oh, 100%. I used to be I still am into cars, and I would go to these car shows, and I would take these very long videos, and I would edit it and cut it to music and spend 10, 15 hours on it and get like 100 views. So I was at Academy one day, and my wife called, and she goes, "What are you doing?" I'm at Academy and buying ammo. I'm standing in line. She goes, "Why don't you make a dumb video about that?" And I did. Got like 1,000 views.
Really?
So I said, "Hey, that's a direction I need to go in."
Yeah. Nothing is more frustrating than when your wife's sarcasm works.
I know. Oh, I hear about it. Trust me.
So she's like, you see, this is why you need to listen to me more. Yeah. Except not in a deep voice like that. Well, I don't know. I don't want to make judgment.
No.
Can't assume.
No, she stopped smoking Cools years ago. It's totally
Yeah. So you kind of like fell accidentally. So your thing is searching for ammo.
Yeah, originally it started out like that, and because I would look around Houston. I'm from Houston, Texas.
Okay.
And I would look around, and I would wonder, like, is anybody finding ammo? And no channel was doing it that I could find. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, I need to just do it. And then I did one video, and I got such a positive response. There's so many people out there that were in the same spot, I fell on hard times in 2020, 2020. I fell on pretty hard times, and I had to sell all but 1 or 2 guns and all of my ammo.
Oh man,
I know that feeling.
Yeah. And it was such a gut punch. And so I had to start over from scratch. And everyone's like, "Well, why didn't you prepare before?" I'm like, when it comes between putting food on the table for my kids and having all this 10 millimeter in the closet, you're going to sell the
easy choice. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And it was just brutal for me. Now I got 9 millimeter coming out of the ears. It's great. Mm-hmm. But I have a whole network now, and we chat every day. In Houston, we have Academy Sports and Outdoors, and they have about 15 of them within the city limits. So it's a 2-box limit, but they almost always have ammo Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So you can easily get 1,000 rounds of 9 millimeter in a week, easily.
Nice. Are prices still pretty good?
Yeah,
it's about $19 for a box of like Blazer 9 millimeter.
Really? 19?
Yeah, that's not a bad price for 100 rounds, right?
Monarch is their store brand, and they do 200 rounds for $64.
That's not a bad price.
No, not compared to what's out there.
I kind of wish we had an Academy local. The closest we have is one in Orlando, which is like 2 hours south. Wow. It's the only store that sells 545. They have their Monarch brand 545, and it's pretty good ammo. I have no other place of getting 545 other than online. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, there is that, and then also maybe every now and then we'll get some from Barnauls.
When those come in, I celebrate because the trickle a couple rounds. It's like I gotta hoard it.
Yeah, but 545 is one of the difficult ones. Right. I mean, this is your expertise. Do you see a lot of 545 out there?
No,
you don't.
Not really. Okay. There's a store called Camping World here in Houston. They have a lot of the oddball hunting calibers. They've had it a few times I've seen, but they have a 1-box limit. So it's almost a waste of time to go.
Wait, Camping World sells ammo?
Yeah, surprise.
See,
I guess we're going to have to try that. Don't we have a Camping World pretty close?
Somewhere off the highway, somewhere on
Not a lot of people know that.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know that either.
I walked in looking for campers, and they had pretty decent prices on guns. And
Really?
They sell guns too. At least the one in Texas.
They had guns up. Oh yeah, maybe. I wonder if this is just.
I made a video.
It might be Texas.
Yeah.
Well, I think Texas, you sell guns at like mini marts. I mean, it's just
exactly.
Yeah. Lola and I ran into some people coming back from SHOT Show or something like that. We ran into these guys on the plane one time. We were switching planes in Texas, and the guy was a pharmacist like Lola and also a gun dealer. So he had a pharmacy and a gun shop in the same
one?
spot. Yeah, I can't. Do you remember the name of that, Lola? I can't remember the name. Someone out there in Texas will probably tell us.
That's funny to me.
Yeah, I hope they're still in business, but at that time, yeah. So
man, that's
Texas
pretty
has
crazy.
everything. Yeah, you could go and go buy like a car seat for your baby. And the baby car seat store also sells guns. Awesome.
Maybe you never know.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Have you guys had a chance to go to a Buc-ee's out here?
I've never
heard of Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
You've never heard of Buc-ee's? Well, let me tell you guys.
I just heard about Buc-ee's drive. So when I drove to Texas a couple months ago, I saw a ton of Buc-ee's, and I was like, "What is this craziness?" It registered in my brain. I was like, "Why do people have these crazy beavers on stores?" And then I was scared, so I didn't go into any of those places. And then someone told me, "Oh, Buc-ee's is awesome. Everyone has to go to Buc-ee's."
Yeah,
but that's all
Buc-ee's is like an event in Texas. So what it is, it's a giant gas station that doesn't allow semi-trucks. It's family only.
Okay.
And there's about 120 to 140 pumps at each one, and you can go any time of the day, and it's always packed. And the store itself is like a little mini Walmart. I mean, you can buy everything from a deer feeder to camping gear to fishing gear. They have a whole wall of candy on one side. Oh, it's an event. Like
I've never heard of this, but when we're in Texas, I'm going to have to go try one.
Oh, but you don't have to go. Yeah. I saw recently there's one in Florida.
Yep.
Where?
They're opening one in Florida, and I think Louisiana has one now, Alabama, Atlanta.
I want to say it's Orlando in Florida, the Florida one.
Of course it would be.
I want to say it's Orlando. I was because I was driving somewhere as well, and I saw Buc-ee's 50 miles from here, but I had to get off and I almost went.
You almost did it.
I almost went down there because I regretted after people told me you have to go into Buc-ee's. I didn't.
Well,
realize
it's just
such a big
bananas when you go there, and it's just an event. Like I have a lot of people when they visit. My sister came here from California. I'm a California refugee, by the way. So when she came here, she went to 3 Buc-ee's, not because she had to, just because she wanted to go to 3 different ones. I mean, you can go any time of the day and get a fresh brisket sandwich. They make fudge there. What? They have a whole wall of beef jerky they make.
What? This sounds wild.
It is. Trust me, you're not going to lose weight going there.
Is it a family? Establishment? Is it owned?
Well, that's what he said. It's no truck drivers. It's all like family people.
No.
It's family oriented, but it's owned by 2 brothers, and I think they're big ranchers. They're big hunters. I don't remember the guy's name. I think his name is Buc-ee.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Someone in the chat might know, but I don't.
As a badge of honor, we might have to make a road trip, Patrick, to Buc-ee's.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
It's an event. I hope the one in Florida is like the one in Texas. The one in Texas, last I checked, also has, in Katy, Texas, it has the longest car wash in the United States.
Oh, wow. Listen, in Florida, we just started getting Wawas and stuff like that, really. I mean, there might have been Wawas for a while, but I never saw. Those are also gas stations. But they're all set up really nice, and they have really nice food. And
I've seen that logo before. I had no idea what that little bucktooth beaver logo was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's going to be, the first one's opening in St. Augustine. So it's actually not that far.
Oh, St. Augustine. You're right. Yeah, there you go. St. Augustine. Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up and show people.
Oh, you definitely want to go to the grand opening.
Oh, so it's not open yet?
Buc-ee's a popular, it opened, nope, it's already open. It opened on February 22nd.
Yeah. So this is
Buc-ee's, a popular gas station that claims to have the world's cleanest bathrooms, will open its first location in Florida later this month. Opened back in February. 52,000 square foot location. That's massive.
Wait until you see the bathroom. So that the bathroom is spotless, and the stalls are actual floor to ceiling 12-foot doors. Complete privacy, and they're spotless all the time.
Wait, hold on. When you go in a stall, it's 12 feet high?
The door is that tall. There's no underneath. There's no light. I mean, you're in your own.
Oh, awesome.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's super clean. There's someone in there cleaning it nonstop the whole day.
Yeah, what kind of cleaning staff? That's what I was thinking. As a guy who, in his life, used to do housekeeping.
Oh, God, could you imagine?
I used to do, I've done a lot of different jobs. Housekeeping was one of them I did for a long time. That's got to be crazy.
It probably draws people like that are looking for a clean bathroom who don't necessarily want to ruin a clean bathroom.
Women
flock
there, and they make everyone stop, because if you're driving by a Buc-ee's, you know that is the cleanest bathroom until the next Buc-ee's.
So that's the thing. Like when I was driving, I didn't see that. They need to well, now that I know this, I'm going to stop at every single one I'm just going to go in there just to use the
cleanest bathroom. Yeah.
Oh, plus you can get a brisket sandwich. Oh, they chop it fresh. It's amazing. Really? I just did a video on my channel of Buc-ee's. It's pretty.
Does Buc-ee's have ammo?
Not, unfortunately, no.
Oh,
should. It should.
Okay. Yeah, come on, Buc-ee's.
It should.
You need to do Smash Time version of ammo. I mean, if someone's looking at your channel, like I think it is. I think that's a cool thing. How long did you say you've been like doing videos where you're running around looking at ammo? How long have you been doing that?
I started in December.
In December, so a couple of months, maybe 5
Yeah,
months.
like 5 months. So
okay.
I did the car thing for about 6 months before that, and got like 150 subscribers in that 6 months.
Yeah,
it was a disaster. But I love guns. You know, I got into guns a little bit late, being a California person, and I love it. I'm still kind of learning, so I'm in no way an expert. So please don't listen to anything I say about guns.
Yeah. I like videos of people running through stores. So I mean, there's a lot
Me
to talk
too.
about here. And so I'm into Hot Wheels cars. Don't judge me.
Oh man, he is.
Don't judge me, Patrick.
I'm not.
And I look at the videos of the dudes going into stores and buying Hot Wheels cars. So that's kind of like a thing of people going in stores, right? And
Yeah, I don't even buy Hot Wheels, but I watch them go and dig through those boxes looking for like collector's editions.
Yeah. You know, so what's your background? You said you're from California, so you know I'm trying to figure out ethnicity and stuff like that. You know, I'm not trying to be
about as
here.
white as they come.
Oh, okay, all right.
As the driven snow. But I grew up in Carson, Compton, California, like that. Like I'm right on the border of Carson and Compton, and I grew up the ultra minority, but I thought it was great. I never really realized it till I went to San Pedro High School for high school, and then I was like, "Oh my God, this is where all the white people went. This is crazy."
So wait, you're a white guy, but did you go to school in Compton?
I went to school in Carson, but it's right on the border. It's just pretty much the same. So if you say Carson, nobody knows what you're talking about. But if you say Compton, yeah. But if you got a ticket, you went to Compton.
Oh, so it's like if you live in New Jersey, everyone says they're from Newark. Like
right,
from Newark,
something like that.
Yeah, even though they're where they actually live in Jersey is not Newark, but they say it's Newark. So it was like when did you grow up in that area?
Well, I
80s, 90s,
80s, 90s. So I was in high school during the riots. That was a fun walk home.
Okay.
I remember waking up telling my mom, I was like, I don't want to go to school today. She's like, you're going. And it was, I got jumped 3 times going home that day.
Yeah, you're like, I'm the one kid who should not.
I'm the only guy that should call in sick today, Mom. She's like, you're going, you're fine.
Looking at the map of LA, it's like the cities are all just crunched together. Like the only thing that separates them is roads, right? Like because it all looks like a massive chunk of just Los Angeles.
It's all concrete. You know, it's there's like in Texas, there's a neighborhood, then there's trees, and then you have these green belts and all this stuff. Where I grew up,
I bet you don't miss the concrete.
No. So I back up. My house backs up to a preserve, and it's not the woods, but I call it the woods. And they're like, "Oh, that's not the woods." Like, if there's deer in my backyard, that's the freaking woods. All right, I'm from LA. That's the woods.
Yeah.
So,
truth. By the way, so the Juice says Carson, Watts, South Central, Englewood. It's all the same. It's all good. That's just a. Inglewood. Yeah. Kioski says, God, I hated Hot Wheels people when I worked at Target. All the time with what's in the back. Can you bring it out? Lola's loving that one. She loves that guy.
That's hilarious.
100%.
Yeah. So we're talking about that area and growing up like that in the 80s. Was it like in the movies?
Yes. It calmed down quite a bit in late 90s, but in the 80s it was just bananas. I mean, literally, I lived on a corner, and I used to have to paint over the wall. So the city would drop off this dirty gray paint, so they would always graffiti on the wall. Mm-hmm. So I'd be out there in the morning doing, I would try and do it as early as possible because it was at night. I had some Samoans roll up on me and point a shotgun at my face. Like, what are you doing? I was like, man, I'm more scared of my mom than you guys are. So, so it's. Mm-hmm. It was just weird. But in the 90s,
it for the people to paint back over the graffiti. Is that
right?
Oh,
you can request
it. Do it. Okay.
They would do it, but with graffiti, if you paint over it right away, they'll stop writing on your wall because they want to see it. So if it's up for a week, they'll always write it. Then they'll cross it out. Someone else will write it. Mm-hmm. Cross it out. Someone else will write it. But if you paint over it immediately, eventually they'll just stop writing because they're like, wow, that guy always paints his wall right away. So it's not worth their time.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting.
That's interesting. Yeah. It's also interesting about Samoan gangs. I just heard about Samoan gangs. I never.
Oh, that's a thing?
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying because Samoans are big Pacific Islanders, aren't they?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, the Rock.
Samoans are those big guys like that dude that has a YouTube video of him climbing a tree and grabbing a coconut barefoot with like no shirt on. Like they're big dudes.
Maybe super religious, really cool people though. Samoans are actually pretty solid. But
you find that.
You don't want to upset one. I lost 2 of those fights. You're doing really good till they grab you, and then it's over. You're just, it's a wrap.
I never knew that was a thing. Someone needs to make the movie about the Samoan gangs, and like you always saw the other gangs. So was it, growing up in New York, and obviously there was gangs and things like that and violence in New York. Growing up there, was it like in the movies? Was that every day, or was that just sometimes?
Well, I mean, you could tell who didn't belong in your neighborhood after a while. You can just look at somebody and goes, "Oh, he's not going to make it out." Mm-hmm. Like you can tell. And then the Samoan gangs weren't really the big deal because then you had the MS-13 moving in the 80s and 90s, and they were taking over a lot of like the Latino gangs. And by the time 95 rolled around, nobody was talking smack to Latino gangs out there. They ran the gambit. Mm-hmm. So you had the black gangs, you had the Samoan gangs, then you had like Cambodian gangs, Asian gangs. There were a big thing. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there was a Cambodian gang in Long Beach that was. Well, you got to figure. You take somebody that's in Cambodia where life is very cheap, and you put them in the middle of a civilized society. I mean, they run it. Mm-hmm. There's no problem for them to pull a trigger. So, but it was just weird, I mean, it's so funny. So a couple years ago, I have an older daughter. She's 19. I go, hey, we're going back to California. Keep your eyes forward. Don't talk any smack. Don't say nothing stupid because I don't want to get beat up because you mouth off. Mm-hmm. So we're driving down Carson Boulevard, and it's all gentrified now. There's day spas. There's mani-pedis. There's tea bars. And she goes, yeah, real tough, Dad. Real tough. I'm like, no, my friend got shot right here. Mm-hmm. She's like, whatever. There's like brand new condos everywhere. It's really heavily invested in that area.
Yeah, that's happening in New York also.
Since I got on that tangent real quick, if anybody wants to look it up, do a Google search for the Polynesian Cultural Center. There's a Samoan guy that shows you how to like climb a tree using like roots that you tie around your ankles, and he opens a coconut with his teeth. Yeah, he's a hard dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he the one that does like the comedy routine? He does like a comedy routine with it.
Maybe I haven't seen that. All I've seen of him was him like climbing a coconut tree, pulling a coconut down, and then like ripping the bark off of the skin of the coconut off with his teeth. Yeah, he husks it with his teeth. Yeah, which is nuts.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Alaskan Ballistics gave us a super chat. Hold on, let me get some kind of, here we go, party. Yay. Okay, Alaskan Ballistics. Thanks, appreciate it. He says, I coach a bunch of Samoans in football. If you treat them right, they'll have your back no matter what.
100%.
Yep. And Bob Goodwin says they did make a movie, I guess. It was called Once We Were Warriors.
I mean, that's what they were, was like they had a warrior culture back 1,000 years ago or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they still have that mentality. It's funny because they're ultra religious. The majority of Mormons, majority of Samoans are Mormons because they were over there. Yeah. Huh. So a lot of Mormon churches have, like the one in Carson that was by my house had, probably 70% were Samoan.
Wow.
And they had the best cookouts.
Aries Firearms says, I was eating coconuts yesterday.
Yeah, coconuts are delicious, by the way. I mean, I'm from the Caribbean. So
coconut milk, you just chop the top off.
It's called coconut water.
Coconut milk. Come on. What do you mean coconut water?
Coconut milk is a totally different thing that you cook with. That's what you use to make cook up rice and stuff like that. Yeah, the milk of the coconut. But
I've always called it coconut milk.
So when you go up those trees and get down a fresh coconut, that water in there is freaking awesome.
Yeah,
it's good for you too.
Yeah, but the milk is kind of like the flesh of the coconut inside that's all like mashed up into a kind of a thing. So,
have you ever, and I don't know if I've talked about this before, but Hank, have you ever had a sprouted coconut? I may not have talked about this. It's a thing, and I've never had one. So once the coconut goes to take root, the water on the inside turns into a hard little ball, and supposedly it has the flavor of coconut, but the texture of like angel food cake. So it is like a treat if you can find a coconut that has sprouted and the inside has turned into this little angel food cake ball. I've never had one, but I've wanted to for a long time.
Oh, I didn't even know such a thing existed. That I'm gonna
write that down.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I want to try it. Next time, every time we go down to South Florida with Marley, I always want to try it. Yeah, I've never found one, but I want to try one. Yeah, you gotta wait a little bit longer than when you normally would pick them up. Again.
Yeah. Kathleen Music Lover says coconut milk come from a coconut cow.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and Kiaski says they soak the flesh in water and drain it out. That's the milk, quote unquote.
So you like
it's a little bit more of pulp. The milk is a little bit more of like a pulp part of it, or you can do different things with it to make different substances for cooking and stuff like that. Yeah. But they use coconut milk in a lot of different foods use coconut milk. And listen, I know I saw someone all mad because we're talking about different stuff. You've obviously never been to this podcast. Yeah, it's funny when people troll me and they're like, "Oh, this has gone downhill. These guys aren't even talking about guns." Okay, bye.
You can only talk about it so much.
Yeah. No, we are going to talk about guns, but we want to have a natural conversation here. This is literally my first time meeting Smash Time. What's up?
Smash Time, I don't know if you know this name, but Andrew Faulkner says Smash Time hitting the big time.
Oh, man.
I don't know if he's a fan of yours or you know who he is, but yeah.
I see some familiar names in there.
Yeah, shout out Charlie.
Well, you know what's so great? Since I started doing this channel, I'm really big in building your personal network because usually gun people are very private and they go to the academy and they don't talk to each other and they just stand there in line, they get their ammo and they go home. No, don't do that. So I have gotten the best ammo deals from people bartering and trading, and now I have a cell phone full of numbers and just connections. I've met some of the best salt of the earth people standing in line at academy, some great gun people, because gun people are the best people.
I will say gun people I think tend to be extremely private in their personal lives, social lives.
Correct.
But if you ever meet gun people at the range and you want to shoot one of their things, most of them are like, absolutely, enjoy. Here's ammo, here's everything, have fun.
Well, I don't know about the here's ammo nowadays, but there's
nowadays maybe not. It used to be. Yeah. You got like 3 rounds. I hope you like it.
No, listen, people still like that video I put up of what I call fun chain guns. In that video, Trey from Aries and his brother, they literally brought out not only machine guns, but ammo. I mean, you could see his brother in the back there while me and Trey, I think his brother did shoot some stuff. And his wife is also in that video, but yeah, he was just there loading. And I was like, that's awesome nowadays. And I'm not going to say no. I'm going to enjoy the awesomeness. Yeah. So everyone's asking me to ask you about your name and how you came up with the name Smash Time.
Oh, all right. Well, that's not too long of a story. So my son, for his 5th birthday, he wanted to smash up a Hot Wheel. Sorry, Hank.
Yeah.
And
sacrilege. I'm hating this story already.
So he's driving me crazy. He goes, Dad, I go, no, you can't smash a perfectly good car. He goes, well, yes, I have 2 of this one. Mm-hmm. And I go, okay. He goes, Dad, it's my birthday. I want to smash a car. Okay, let's do it. Mm-hmm. So we went outside. I made a video of him smashing up this Hot Wheel. And if you ever want to make a 5-year-old boy the happiest in the whole world, let him take a hammer to a Hot Wheel. Mm-hmm. It is the best. But unfortunately, he wants to do it every day. So we had to kind of put the kibosh on that. But so I put it up on YouTube as Smash Time, and it was kind of just like a joke. Mm-hmm. And then when I started doing the car videos, I was too lazy to think of a new name, and then it just kind of stuck.
Yeah. No, but that's actually cool. You should have just kept letting him smash stuff. I mean, the What's Inside family, their videos their channel's pretty big, you know, the What's Inside, where they cut everything open.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, you know. So you never know how that goes.
We'd all let our kids review toys if we had known how big that was going to be.
I'll take it any day. I don't even want to be in front of the camera.
Can't even imagine.
You know, my kids love playing video games, but mostly they love looking at other kids playing video games. By the way, I'm going to mess around with my light while we're talking and doing stuff here. I'm going to change the color. I have this
you can't just let
it
sit.
Yeah, these are awesome. Babyface, he's jealous. He's jealous.
My lighting is great. I hit 2 buttons, it turns on.
Don't hate on me, bro. Don't hate on me, bro.
Perfect.
I'm still working on mine.
I'm just gonna change the color of it here. See if I could, because it's kind of like I'm the same complexion as the background. This is what I'm sitting in his dining room, and I'm the same complexion. I'm not in the van today.
What you need to do is, instead of sitting with your back to the wall, sit the other way, so the other wall is to your back, and then use your camera to get depth of field, and it'll set you way far.
Okay.
Since you got the fancy cam set up now.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. You need to switch your whole table situation around in your living room.
Just sit on the other side of the table.
It's too much. It's too much trouble. I can't process the words coming out of your mouth right now. To switch it around.
I like this show. This is great.
Yeah. Even Lola says that's too complicated.
John Doe says smash Hot Wheels with a 9mm. You could set some Hot Wheels up and shoot.
Yeah, I think that would have been cool to see. You know, even though I like Hot Wheels, I don't mind destroying them, blowing them up, and stuff like that. That would have been cool to see.
Well, his video is still on there. I just took it. I just made it private because I didn't know how YouTube would take kids out there. Plus, he wasn't wearing shoes, and I could see the comments now. And he wasn't wearing glasses, safety glasses. And I thought about it after the fact. I'm like, not a very responsible parenting thing to do. But
safety Nazis.
Yeah. You'll hear about it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We hear all kinds of complaints about stuff. DCG44s wants to know what brand and model. So it is the Bowling P1. Here's the back. Let me see I don't know if you guys will even see that properly here. If I can get my hands on it. It's the Bowling P1. No, not. Hold on. Let's see. Not getting any luck with this focusing on it at all. Lola, why is this thing not pointed at me? You never turned it back around. So anyway, the Bowling P1. Just take my word for it. I'll see if I can pull it up on. I'll see if I can pull it up on you on my phone or something like that and show you the back side of it. So, all right. Let's see. What other? See, now I got thrown off. Yeah. Don't move. Wait.
You're obsessing over the damn light.
Why are you moving that thing? Don't. Don't move it.
This podcast goes off the rails so fast.
Lola, you're not allowed to touch stuff without authorization.
So quickly. There are times
where
it's just like
I mentioned before that Lola is what Filipinos call their grandma. So when I first saw you yelling at her or discussing loudly about don't move my camera, Lola, I'm like, his grandma's helping him. That guy's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So Smash Time says your grandma is moving the camera around. Because his wife is Filipino. I gotta explain this to Lola now.
What?
His wife is Filipino and Lola is grandma, which suits you perfectly.
Great. She's gonna block me now forever.
No, that's cool. I think I've heard that before. So I know a lot of Filipino people. So let me see. Here we go. I found this thing. I can show you guys what we're talking about here. So that way I'll get this out of my brain. And I think Lola has these. Huh?
Nothing. Keep going.
The what shut off?
I said you have to show it off.
Yes, I got to show it off. So this is the bowling P1, and Lola
those are
has
great.
this in our Amazon store. If you guys want to see it, it's pretty awesome. You know, I think it works great. Babyface is very jealous of his awesome,
I
amazingness.
cannot handle myself. I am so jealous of him.
Yeah.
I'm just frothing at the mouth right now.
He was trying to give me his crank so he can.
Oh yeah, in trade for that little $100 light. I was just.
You know what?
Can't handle it.
You know what, BFP? I feel bad for you. I will let you trade me your crank.
We'll discuss it later. Okay, after the podcast, we'll discuss it.
See, we've talked about gun stuff, so I don't want to hear anyone else complaining.
You know, it's funny how if you go away from the formula, people complain so bad. It's like so for like my channel, I'm trying. You know, I love doing these ammo runs. For me, it's really fun to hang out and meet. Like today, I met 2 new people, just having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to do some interviews, and I try to do like little podcast format, and then that's how I found your channel because I'm like, does anybody else do this?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, actually, yeah, he's been doing it for eons.
Mm-hmm.
First one, did you watch the first podcast?
So many complaints that where are the ammo videos? Like,
you should ask Hank about his first podcast. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, the first episode 1 was, what's the name of that guy? Voda? I think
Voda Consulting.
You don't know. See, you're from the new school of people doing this.
No,
doing gun stuff. Right? That's not like, I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I love to see lots of different people coming into the gun world and doing stuff. But you might not have ever heard of Voda. That was the super tactical.
So whenever you get the chance, look him up. This was a guy back in 2015, 2016.
Voda.
Who swore he was a trainer. He trains people. And he swore that the best way to approach a situation if you're pulled over by the police is to take your gun out of your holster, put it on your dash, and then put your hands at 12 and 2, or 9 and 3, whatever, 10 and 2, and let the cop know, oh, it's unloaded, it's on the dash. It's like, you should not be reaching for guns when the cop's coming up to your window.
No.
And then he's training people.
That's a horrible idea.
He's training people and he's showing them how to aim, I guess, or something. But he has an unloaded gun in their hands, pointing directly at his chest, showing them like, oh yeah, this is the best way to do it. Then you can come up and take it. It's incredible to watch.
It's VODA. If you look him up, I don't know.
It's incredible.
Okay, now I gotta go. Are we really gonna do this?
Oh my god, that was the first episode.
He's gonna get so many views. He's like, "Oh, crazy! I got all these views today."
It was a dumpster fire.
I don't know if he's still out there doing it. Let me see. I know he was a meme for a long time. Oh yeah, it's called official. It's Lucian Black. Voda.
Is he the guy that said you should carry the gun between your legs while you drive?
Yes, same guy. Yeah.
Oh, he's still out there. He's still out there doing his thing. Apparently,
he's crazy. He's absolutely insane.
That's such a bad idea.
Everything he says, you just do the opposite.
Here's some stuff right here.
Yes. Oh my god.
See, this is the kind of stuff Joe Rogan loves to talk about, like the fake martial artist.
Yeah. Oh my god. He's still out there making content?
Yeah. More power. Jesus. So here's the thing that happened. Obviously, it's a brother, right? It's a black dude. So everyone figures, like, everyone starts, when this all blew up and all the gun guys started putting into memes and getting crazy, that everyone's looking at me like, what's up with your boy?
Oh, you're automatically the spokesman now for
he's got to fill in for black people.
Funny enough, I actually looked around and he was in my thing. And I was like, hey, what's up? People want to know what's up with you. You want to do this podcast with me? He was like, yeah, sure. You know? So I guess it does actually work. It's like the nod, you know, the black dude nod. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever accidentally gotten the black guy nod? Or maybe like the Latino guy nod or something. You might be able to.
It's like the elevator nod when there's 5 guys in the elevator and a very attractive woman comes in. They all look at each other.
Side eye, and you go.
Yeah. So the black guy nod, if people don't know, if people have never witnessed or experienced it, is when 2 black people pass each other like ships in the night. We go like that.
Oh, the heads up. No, yeah, we used to do that. I got the heads up. Yeah, I thought you meant a real nod. No, yeah, the heads up. Yeah.
Yeah.
The heads up for somebody. You're like, all right.
So I guess it works. Yeah. He says, "What do you mean was Voda is still teaching in the Charlotte area?" Oh, okay. That's from Razor JB. Shout out to Razor JB, by the way.
Is he really?
And Emma says, "Voda is the GOAT. He is so skilled at shooting the ceiling at the range."
You wonder. One of the range, you always wonder where those holes come from. Now we know.
Damn, you guys always want to get it talk about guns.
Ray Bazzola says Hank's black. I thought he was Italian.
Who says that, Ray Bazzola?
Did he train the NFAC?
Yes. Oh God, that one was hilarious. When you tap that gun, you just cause a misfire. Somebody just died.
That's hilarious.
Oh God.
So let's see. And by the way, there are white people and all people of different color that do same craziness. Just like the guy who said fully automatic, fully semi-automatic.
Fully semi-automatic, yeah. If you want to pull it into fully semi-automatic.
And that was a general. Dude.
Did you see how he held the gun with like the stock? Oh, it was awful. Yeah.
The favorite one that always makes me laugh is there's a white guy, and I'm just being descriptive. That like a big dude, and he shoots an AR-15. Have you ever seen that? And then he goes.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. He has like a breakdown. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That one. Or that reporter, the reporter that shoots the gun and starts like crying at PTSD.
God. Yeah. Jesus. Yeah. The easiest gun you can fire.
Yeah.
Or Maxine Water says it's as heavy as 10 boxes.
Heavy as 10 boxes.
I wish I had never held it.
10 boxes of what?
She's such an idiot. How do these people get elected? She got elected in your old district, didn't she?
Uh-huh.
She's from that area. She got elected in that area, right? And then lives across town in a mansion, supposedly.
So Texas, we have Sheila Jackson Lee, which is another.
Lord. Oh, you have her.
So I met her once at a function, and I went to shake her hand, and she did the palm out like,
get out of here.
I'm like, who is this old lady? She's like,
What I don't like about her, she's the one always trying to hug up on everyone that comes in, like when they're doing the what is it, the State of the Union,
right?
I don't think she tried to do it to Trump, so that's extra points for Trump right there. But she, like everyone that would come in there, even like let's say when you had Bush, right? And she's not a Bush fan, but he was coming in to do State of the Union. She's all trying to hug. I'm like, yo, can we have some decency?
Right.
You know, some consistency in your method. So yeah.
They're all everybody's correcting me. It's not Maxine Waters. No. I'm saying in California, in his old district in Compton area. I thought Maxine Waters came from that area.
No, nobody wants to claim Maxine Waters.
Nobody wants to claim her. But then she doesn't actually reside in the trashy neighborhood.
No.
She lives across town in the multi-million-dollar mansion with gates and guards.
100%.
Yeah.
They never do. They never. Politicians in general, they're all
ridiculous.
Let me see. Lola,
who's the one that wears funny hats? Kathy Music Lover asks, who's the one that wears funny hats? I'm going to have to look this one up. I think I know the face, but I...
Yeah. Brian Quick said, so Hank, Kevin Dixie, Coleon Noir, and Voda walk into a bar. And that's the punchline, I guess.
Only one of them is cool.
If only one of them is cool, between Kevin Dixie and Coleon Noir, I don't know. You know, Kevin's gonna get mad. I'm gonna have to say Noir, man. Me and Kevin Dixie, we're not cool. You know, Voda, I know he might be. He's probably cool, but I'm definitely not cool. So I would definitely give that to Noir, man. He's Coolio Smooth, man. That's
you know what set him apart when he first started doing his review videos back in the olden days. He had a big film background, so he was really good with camera work, and that immediately set him apart 100%. And I was following him. years ago.
I always loved like the words that Noir would use, and the expedality of the
Noir.
He used good words.
Noir,
He's smart.
Right.
Napoleon drove me nuts when I first started watching YouTube because his exposition is it's too much.
He's a lot.
It's like reading a comic book. It's just too much exposition.
So I know what his motivations are. He, just like me, is a massive fan of Top Gear, like old Top, not new.
So that's
Top Gear for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
He's a big fan of Top Gear. So he was doing all that stuff like Jeremy Clarkson, and I think he's good at that. I think he's great, but he's just a really cool guy, man. He has a nice sense of cool and all that kind of stuff. I hope
he was on Fox News the other night too.
Oh yeah, Noir is always on Fox News. He was on
Tucker Carlson.
He was on Tucker Carlson.
He was on Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, that's I remember.
But you can watch his evolution, or when he first started. If you go back and watch his first videos, where he had to edit, it's always jump cuts because he was so nervous in front of the camera. To now, he's really smooth. Yeah, he would cut because I don't know if he was flubbing his lines or if that was his editing style. But in front of a camera now, he's an absolute pro. But you can watch his whole evolution.
A lot of younger folks cut everything out, right? Just because of the patience level.
Yeah.
Like I know for my videos, I would leave everything in, and I still do. I make little things here and there, but
my brain can't handle it.
See, your brain
knows that.
That's why I think he was doing that, and probably why he was more successful at doing that. So I really like his car videos. By the way, he does really good car videos. Right. He's got cool guns. I'm always jealous when he's sitting in his gun room now. I'm like, why you flexing on me, man?
I know. I just took my very first handgun training here in Houston, Texas.
Who'd you go with?
Craig Performance Shooting, and it's a big difference when you actually have real training. Because before I would just go to the range and shoot a bunch of boxes of ammo and kind of hit the target, whatever. So it was a really good training. I had so much fun. It was 4 hours. It was a blast, and it really improved my group. And he goes, man, if you really want to shoot from a car, we could do that. I'm like, really? That would be a great video because I think that'd be pretty sweet, just like in LA. Flashback. Just kidding.
Okay.
But I think that'd be kind of neat. I was like, that's good content. Shooting from a car, sweet. Sign me up.
Yeah, it is. It is good. Let me see. I know. There's several people that do that kind of stuff. I saw someone doing a video on YouTube where he's walking by a car, shooting in the car. I've done some stuff shooting from in the car outside, like out through the windshield and stuff like that to see what actually happens when you do all that.
That'd be very cool.
Yeah, it is. It's all good stuff. But sometimes when you're in the training mode, you need to focus on the training over. This is one of the things. Like if you go training somewhere, what are you doing? Are you training or are you trying to get video footage of that? And I think if you're getting more footage of the training, you're not getting. Like I think you should split. You should or not split. You should choose one or the other. And go, 100%. I'm here to train or I'm here to get footage.
So when I was there, I set up a GoPro, a regular camera, and then I had a gimbal I would take out once in a while. But I had 3 cameras, and I only got probably an hour's worth of footage out of the 4 hours I was there. But you're right. You got to concentrate on what you're there for. Plus, it's not cheap. This wasn't free, so you got to get what you get.
Yeah. So let me see. There's a question I want to ask, but let's get this question from Emma. It says, so real talk, how much do we have to endure of these insane left policies before we say enough is enough and do something? Where's the limit? So let's ask that question. Let's just throw that into the mix here. Where's the limit? Where's the line?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
All right. So every time I talk to one of these vets, or like my brother's a vet, and where I talk to all these guys, ex-military, I'm like, so when is it time to step in and do something? When people are getting elected or not elected, and they all say, oh, you'll know when it's time. You'll know when it's time. I was like, really? What time is it? Let me know what time. I'd love to know what time it is, because it seems like all the stuff we went through last year could have been a couple of those times. That would have been great. When is it? When they're marching down the street with tanks? I mean, it's just going to be too late. So I don't know.
I think that's a good answer. It's probably pretty close to my answer. Like, for me, the way I would usually answer this is if you look out the window and everyone else is not in revolution or apocalypse mode, you probably shouldn't be either. Now, does that mean that you don't prepare for it? I think you should always be prepared for things. But you have to live more in the now, like you were talking about earlier. You have to think more about your family and your kids now, and then prepare for things if things go wrong. But I'm not planning on being the one that that sparks the fire here, right? If there's not enough other people out there that are mad enough about it to do something, then I'm just marching off to be that one guy that gets rubbed out, and and then I'm no good to my family. So I think you have to see the pitchforks and the torches of the majority of people, and hopefully, to me, it's voting or standing up and saying, "Hey, we're not taking this anymore. We're not going to accept this from you." More than the shooting thing that a lot of people are thinking about, because once we get into that, that's such a chaotic mode that no one can really predict what's coming out of that. It is frustrating and aggravating to me that with all the stuff going on. When I was in a barbershop this morning and we were talking about this, I had my barber pull up the Joe Rogan episode with Snowden. And we're very early in that episode. Snowden is talking about how they basically made laws that most of us don't know about. Not even the politicians understand the laws that got enacted and things that are happening, right? And that's really kind of indicative of what's going on in America. We think there's a constitution. We hope there's a constitution. We talk about it. It's not there. At what point do we go, okay, we're gonna prove to you that there is a constitution, regardless of whatever, crazy laws you guys made up and we're living by. So, I don't know if that answers it for anyone. Patrick, did I give you enough time?
I don't know. It's like porn. You can't explain. You can't. Everybody's gonna understand that reference though. The second I said it. You can't describe it, but you'll know when you see it. Mm-hmm. I don't have a good answer. I definitely don't have a good answer. You hopefully can exhaust all other possibilities before moving in that direction, but if the powers that be keep pushing the way they're pushing, I don't know what people are going to do.
We'll wake up. So M. Ma said, are people mad enough, or what I'm asking, or asking what I'm asking, and don't know when to step in? I think just like we're all saying, it's not a bad thing to look around and see what everyone else is doing in this case, right? Because we're gun guys here, right?
It would have to be a united front. You can't have solo people trying to uphold whatever. So yeah, it needs to be.
I wouldn't recommend for one person out there, and I don't want that. It's part of the reason why we do this show and why we talk about fun things and not just guns all the time or the politics of. If something big and major is happening, we talk about it. Yesterday on the show, we had Vince Sheffield, who's a former ATF agent. We spent the whole night talking about the ATF mostly and some other things going on around guns, right? So we do that stuff. When stuff comes out, when news comes out, there's big things happening there, we get into it. But I'm trying to help folks out there relax and unwind and have kind of a sounding board, because if we and I do see some there are some channels and some people out there who are making their bones by freaking everyone out and putting everyone into panic mode or putting a tremendous amount of pressure on people. And I want the opposite. I don't want someone out there to break and then go out on their own and do something bad that's just going to be used as an example of what's wrong with the gun guy. It's like when I look at Joe Rogan and he talks about, this gun guy just wants to get all these guns and kill people and shoot, and he's talking about it like, dude,
crazy talk.
I feel, what if I started saying that about how much Rogan works out and does jujitsu or whatever it is, and he likes to roll around with dudes, and what's up with a guy that just wants to roll around with dudes on the mat all the time, right?
Hey, jujitsu's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's the same thing. Like most gun guys, we're not getting those things so that we can use this sense of power over people, and we can't wait to kill people
Right.
or anything like that. It's something that we think is cool. We like the way it's designed, the way it looks, the way it functions. You know, it's something that we could take and manipulate with our own hands and do stuff. It's something we can use to defend ourselves, etc. I don't think this. Listen, there's probably someone out there who sees things that way, but most of us, these are not things that we're getting, and it's impossible. How many guns can you even handle at one time? So the idea of like, what's that guy doing? Like, you can only hold 2 guns, and unless you could, well, there's some people who can use their feet, I guess. So you can only do that. But there's nothing wrong with having a lot of guns, because it's the same reason why someone has a lot of cars or a lot of
Right.
shoes, a lot of whatever else it is out there. But I just don't want to be that person that I'm going to build what I'm building off of pushing people to crack and break and do bad things. We need to, it needs to be a bigger movement than that, and more organized than that. And I think probably the point, as we're talking and thinking about it here, is going to be when they actually try to roll out on people and take guns.
Right. I think that'll be the match.
Yeah, that'll be when we'll find out, and we'll see, will our communities get together and say, no, we're not allowing you to come into this community. And we're probably seeing a little bit of that, or foreshadowing of that, when you see states going, we will not recognize any anti-gun laws or anything. Yeah.
Right.
you know.
So in Houston, we had that freeze. Speaking to that point about getting organized, in Houston, we had that freeze a few months ago, 2 months ago, and we lost power for 5 days. And during that power, the cell service was down, internet was down, and you were basically blind. Unless you had a generator, you were completely blind to the outside world. So it got me to start looking into like ham radios and all that stuff, because what happens if they flip the switch, go door to door, and then cut the internet off? And I left my tinfoil hat in the kitchen, but what happens if they just they can blind you pretty quick if the government wants to?
They can. The question is, will it actually matter if they lock us? So yes, we do worry if we don't hear about those things, but how really important is it? Like, what do you really have to know about every day?
Well, just getting organized with your neighbors,
Yeah, which that's something they really can't block us out from. There's this old school thing that the Egyptians did of actually talking to each other.
Yeah, I've been I've been semi-preaching to a few of my neighbors, and then I got one into guns and prepping pretty good.
That's the cuckoo clock going off.
Here in the background.
Oh, that's awesome. When the show stops. But
yeah,
I've tried to I try to preach to my neighbors, and now they're all semi-closet preppers, so it's people I have to worry about less. So I try and build up my own community, and I'll help them as much as I can.
Yeah, I think a lot of the old school ways are going to become more important, because yes, they can cut us off from social media. They can cut us off from things that, for sure, we're all, including me, kind of like plugged into or addicted to, however you want to say it. But the old school stuff of actually seeing people and talking to people and getting out there and talking to your neighbors, or if it's not your neighbors, people who live somewhat in your community, there's a lot to be said for that. Living basically out in the country versus living in the cities, I think is another big thing as well. Like, I think if you're already in the country, it's more difficult. You're already there. You're where everyone's going to run to. Versus if you're in the cities and things degrade, it's going to degrade really fast, right? Yeah. And it's going to be like dog eat dog. It's going to be like a rat race, or the barrel of crabs kind of a situation. Versus in the country, I see neighbors more like, hey, are you, what's up? Are you okay? You good? We're going to, even if we don't now, we'll reach out and talk to each other. So, and people living in the country are already doing that. If you live in the country and you don't really know your neighbors, even if you have a big piece of property, then there's maybe you're super antisocial. At least wave to them. At least say hi. Let me get this in from Razor JB. He says the ones who talk about are the ones who won't do dick, basically, is what he's trying to put in there. The ones who talk about stuff, the ones who won't do anything.
I'm sure you guys run into it a lot where someone says, "Oh, they'll take it out of my cold dead hands," and I think probably 70% of people will, if they come to your door, will just hand over everything, because when they got their gun pointed at your little kids and stuff, they'll just take it all, get out of my face. I know there's a few crazy people out there, probably a couple thousand, that will just go guns blazing, but I think unfortunately, I think a majority will just hand everything over.
Yeah, Tools and Target says you'll never see any rolling out to come get your guns, in my opinion. He says they will try to force folks to hide them with their laws.
Yep.
Yeah, I could see.
I know Tools. He's a solid guy. And he will be cold. He'll be one of the cold dead hands people for sure.
I think it really, like, once again, I think it's really where you're at. Look, the places that really want to try to roll out there and take guns. There's people, you talked about it, California, New York, right? There's other places around the country where they're trying to do that. They're only effective, in part, taking those away from law-abiding people. Have you seen them try to roll up on gangs and take their guns?
Not successfully, no.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I would agree with the idea that they don't really want to actually start trying to do that in America. You don't want someone in Washington, D.C. deciding, oh, you know what? I think in Florida or Texas. We just pick a place in Texas. I think we're going to roll out, to Texas and try to take guns from out of the hands of people that haven't done anything, that are not criminals and all that. I think even if they decide to do that, they might get away with that a couple of times, but that's not going to be a thing that people will actually stand up and let happen. And that's where you'll see communities going, you can't even roll in here. And this is why we're seeing them coming up with ridiculous things that's their idea of how we're going to solve stuff. Like, oh, we're going to go after these ghost guns. Because people are like, oh my God, ghost guns? So, like, they're there, but they're not there. They don't really exist. You have to exercise them. What are these ghost gun things? That crazy idea is something that people are like, yes, I think they should definitely get rid of the ghost guns. And we were talking about that last night with Vincent Sheffield, and he was, he was in the ATF or worked in law enforcement for 36 years. He said he never saw one of those. He never confiscated those from anyone. Now, maybe that's becoming more popular now, and there's people doing things, but
I have friends I grew up with. I have friends growing up, and they would never do that. They're still on that side of the fence, and they would just go buy it off the street. You can get a gun pretty cheap.
Yeah, if you want to New York City, you could get whatever you want. Yeah.
You can get things that, you're already illegally buying a gun. Why not buy a full auto? Why not buy a short-barreled rifle? Well, the only people that follow those laws are us law-abiding citizens. It's not criminals. They don't care.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And if I'm going to go commit a crime and potentially kill somebody, what do I care if my shotgun barrel is 12 inches or 18 and a half inches? Like, I don't care.
Well, it's easier to put it down your pants leg if it's shorter.
Yeah.
The question is, how did we move? How did they get to move away in America from talking about violent gangs and criminals, and that being the issue, to now it's some other boogeyman that's the issue, and not the real problem out there. For sure, there's people who are every now and then doing these things, but nothing that they've set up. Recent things have happened. There's all kinds of things set up in those places, and it didn't stop.
They set up
FedEx thing. They didn't stop the guy.
The 1934 NFA did nothing. Do you think that your gangster, because that's what they were called, mobster, whatever you want to call it back then, your Italian mob or whatever, that was bootlegging and whatnot, do you think they cared that there was a $200 tax on a machine gun? They just go buy whatever they wanted. They didn't care. Like, it didn't matter to anybody back then. Gun laws have never worked. They've never made sense, because you're penalizing the people who follow the law, not the people who are inherently going to break the laws.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Night Train is a little fired up. He says, I don't care what the over-the-hill drunken nicotine addicted ATF hobo said last night. ATF needs to be about
that needs to be his new nickname, ATF hobo.
ATF hobo.
He had a very nice skillet.
AFC.
He looked like a he looked like a wrestler, like an old pro wrestler. He had a skull.
Vince is actually cool. I think he's cool. I don't think he's. He
lived a hard life. He lived a very hard life.
There's a lot of miles.
being undercover with mobs and gangs and selling drugs and guns, like that's a hard existence because you got to live it. You can't just pretend it.
And you're talking about a guy that was a Marine. You know, he's got education, he's got degrees and stuff like that. But at the same time, he really was a bad boy. You know, and really blended in, especially with motorcycle gangs and all the stuff that they were into. Look, I think some of his biggest problems is like things that I don't agree with, but he's welcome to be his own person and not me, is where he feels like, the ATF is some holy sanctified thing.
He's a law enforcement officer, and he came from a time when he came up in the ATF when he thought when it may have been something.
It's like the FBI.
Positive.
We talked about the FBI before.
The FBI has never been a positive force in this government. You look back at their history with what's his name running it. I can't think of his name. They've always been terrible.
Mm-hmm. I think there was
didn't the ATF do the Branch Davidian massacre?
Yeah, they did Branch Davidian. They caused Waco. They caused Ruby Ridge. My favorite one to point out is back in the 1930s when Prohibition was a thing, or the 20s. Mm-hmm. They went to alcohol distillers that were making, because you still had to make grain alcohol that was used for industrial uses. And they told all of them that you need to put toxins in your grain alcohol so it can't be consumed. And they ended up killing like 25 or 30 people because they poisoned the grain alcohol, knowing damn well that people were going to take it and drink it illegally.
Mm-hmm.
No, ATF has never been
and there's still and no one has, who did someone go to jail for that?
You think the ATF agents in the 30s went to jail for poisoning people? No. You think the ATF agents in the 80s went to jail for Ruby Ridge, or in the 90s for or both were in the 90s, Waco and Ruby Ridge?
What about in the zeros of sending guns across the border?
You think anybody gave a rat's ass about that?
Yeah, no.
The ATF handed the guns that killed border agents. Nobody got in trouble for that.
No.
Yeah, Fast and
they
Furious
literally gave them the guns that killed a border agent. Not a problem.
No.
And then didn't the Obama administration try to blame American gun owners as the problem? That's how the guns were getting across the border. Mm-hmm. Like they tried to play a whole switcheroo, like, oh, they're getting them from the American gun owners, and then it's like, wait. Turns out your ATF is the ones that are selling them to cartels.
Yeah. But what do they even do to the Americans? So let's say there are people in America who do go places and buy guns illegally. A lot of times they find out that's cops. And other people, obviously, right?
Well,
what do they do to those guys? What have they done? And what did they do to the people in the ATF who allowed tens of thousands of guns?
They put
or
what's
thousands,
his name
let's say
on
thousands of guns to go across the border.
They put the glory hole guy on in Smash. If you don't know this one, have you heard the glory hole story?
No.
Oh,
I like glory holes. Let's see your story.
Oh boy! So there was an ATF agent in Louisiana, in New Orleans, who was caught with. I can't even make this up. He was caught with a glory hole in his ATF rented hotel room. There was a room in his hotel room. You would walk in, and there was like a plywood door covering part of it with a hole. He was literally running
that kind of glory hole.
He was literally running a glory hole out of his hotel when he was supposed to be working on some sort of
I don't think you
ATF
knew what you were
project.
getting into when you
go
ahead and
literal ATF agent running a glory hole.
Sorry,
you can't make that up.
Sorry, Hank.
Yeah,
no, it's not a problem.
We talked about it last night. Yeah, Chef, we talked about it last night. But it's like, you can't make that up. How could you come up with a story like that?
He should definitely never work in any federal agency again, for sure.
He's still on payroll, I think.
Yeah.
Hank, I did have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So my question was, I remember one of your podcasts, you guys were talking about the government buying up small manufacturers and then closing them down, or just buying up small manufacturers and closing them down. Do you think they did that to Joe Rogan? They offered him a lot of money just to put them over on the side.
Did we say the government doing it or companies?
Or just large corporations,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you would buy all these and then just kind of shut them down. Do you think they did that to Joe? Because he lost a lot of viewers, and they kind of put him on the side.
And he doesn't. I mean, with the amount of money he's making, he probably doesn't care. You know,
right?
He made so much money. Like,
to Hank's point, he said they have more money than they know what to do with. For like George Soros, $100 million is nothing.
Yeah.
So
it's possible. That's a good conspiracy theory. We should spread that around the internet.
That one.
See what comes up. That's a good one.
Oil hat somewhere.
That's a good one. I like it.
So let me pontificate on this for a second. Yes, I think what you were talking about, and I've seen this happen in the entertainment business, where record labels would buy into the contracts or sign contracts with rival artists. Most famously, this was done to Q-Tip, right? Who's one of the greatest rappers that ever lived. If you don't know Q-Tip, I don't know, whatever, we'll get into that some other time. But he was signed to a record deal, a big record deal, and then we never saw anything come out ever. And a lot of times they use that as a strategy to stop these guys from getting out there and doing things. And then basically when you had them on the contract, you can get them. So they're maybe competing with your artist. When you buy into them, you can get them now to work for your artist, and there's all kinds of things you could do. So I think that is a strategy, and companies definitely do that. We see that in the social media business.
Right.
Corporate America's been doing it.
Yeah.
Kodak basically had the fundamental technology for digital cameras back in 1986, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And they held off as long as they could putting that tech out because it was going to overtake their film business.
And they made it difficult for other people to do it.
For other people to use that technology because they had the basic tech there. And it took, it really honestly caused them to go under in the long run because they held on to film for so long. And then people were like, well, fuck, we're not using film anymore. And by that point it was too late. They couldn't catch up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, companies, corporations do that all the time. They buy things out just to shelve them.
I think so. Do I know
the end of Indiana Jones?
Yeah,
right. You know exactly what scene I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They put the Holy Grail, not the Holy Grail, the Ark of the Covenant in a box in a shelf and hide it away.
Yes. So I'm not sure if that was done deliberately with Joe Rogan. I think Spotify had a lot of money on hand and they wanted to do something big. And they went after not just Joe Rogan. They actually made some deals with some other entities out there in the podcasting world and all that kind of stuff. But I think whether it was deliberate, because to me, I think you can divide everything or people into either is this deliberate or accidental. So is it deliberate? I don't know. But definitely if it was accidental, the accidental part of it is they took a voice that everyone was looking at. So even as gun guys, and we're probably more on the conservative side, etc., we looked and we listened to Joe Rogan because he seemed like at least rational, willing to listen to the conversation. You know, he's had Noir on his show many times, all that kind of stuff, right? And so people were tuning in, and it was mind-bending. You could think about things and put things together. Too many people were paying attention to that, you know. The one person who could have Alex Jones on there and get millions and millions of views, and he for some reason took the money, right, and went over there. And I think the accidental effect of that is basically he's being neutered. At least our access to what he's doing was neutered, but he's got the money. And maybe as an older guy with a family, you know, and he wanted to get out of LA, get out of California, and do all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying it was a bad move for him, but effectively, I think that's what happened there. Right now, he's going to pay a price for that, but I don't know if he really cares. I don't know if it really matters.
He's made a killing. What's it matter?
Yeah, I don't know if it really matters.
He was worth about $8 or $9 million before he took that deal.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah, he was. a millionaire way before.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a millionaire. I would assume he had more than I would like. If you ask me, what do you think Joe Rogan was worth? He's not like a super A-list star, but he's a comedian and he works hard. He's always working. He's been doing the podcast. I was assuming he was at least making maybe like $5 million a year just from being on YouTube and having the podcast itself and all that. And then these guys came along and gave him the big lump sum amount of money. Now, it's not forever. The question is, if he goes the whole full 5 years and then tries to come out of that contract and go do something else, will he be able to come back? Or would if someone else have stepped, I don't know, maybe Hank Strange, stepped in to that position, right? And there's a whole bunch of other guys that have big podcasts out there. I don't even, this is a little fledgling podcast, even though it's the best one.
The Kazakhstani news told you.
By far.
Yes, by far. I think everyone's going to pay for that. I think the audience is paying for it. I think he's paying for it because there's certain things they won't allow on Spotify, and then we don't have access to it. So, in effect, it comes out to the same thing, whether it was accidental or deliberate.
Yeah.
Yeah. The question is anyone going to step into that spot and really fill that spot of what Joe Rogan was doing? What do you guys think about that?
I don't think so.
Is there anyone else out there that could do that? I don't think so. I mean, honestly, I don't have the star power to get, any of those guests that he's getting. One time I got Noir on this show. But,
I didn't watch that one.
Yeah, he was on the show one time, but you balance it out, like Joe Rogan, go on Joe Rogan, go on Hank Strange, and I've gotten a lot of people in the gun world or whatever to come on the show, but I'm not Joe Rogan. I don't have access to the people that he does. Look, when he had on the guy from Twitter, I think it was powerful. It helped me to realize how evil Twitter was.
Yeah, when Elon Musk smoked a joint, that blew me away. I was like, wow, that was amazing.
Yeah, so there's a guy who can get Musk to sit down and talk about things. He can have Alex Jones on. I mean, come on, man. I think potentially, if he really wanted to, I think that Rogan didn't really want to, and there was already stuff going on. He could have had Trump come on there.
Oh, yeah. He asked to be on. Trump's people they reached out. They wanted him, I think, to fly to Washington. That's the rumor I heard.
They wanted Rogan to fly to Washington.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. If I was Trump, I would have gone out to Rogan. I don't know. See, that's where maybe Trump's ego or something got in the way, because really Rogan doesn't go out to anyone, and I don't think it's a power play. But
I think he mentioned it on his podcast that he said no, he didn't want it. He didn't want him to come on.
Oh, okay, he didn't want him to. Yeah.
Even though that would have been blockbuster ratings.
It would have, but maybe people would say it's time to stop this guy. This is maybe he's worried. Maybe he was worried about that, and maybe that's even why he took the payday, right? Because ultimately, you have to think about your family. And he's like, I'm going to take this payday. I'm going to get this money to take care of my kids going forward, because at some point they're going to muzzle me. And it is effectively what happened over, I think, with... look, I always thought this might kick up some controversy in the gun world. I always thought when Noir signed on with NRA, it was the worst thing. I always thought that.
I always thought it was a very good PR move for him.
I think that, yes, because he got a lot of the NRA machinery behind him, and that helped amplify his, his brand and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not saying he didn't suffer from it. He definitely got paid money, and he got a lot of good things. I think probably Noir came out on the better end of that deal than the NRA did.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Sure. So I'm not saying, but I think it was a bad thing that he did it. I think if he would have just kept going in his own direction, he would have built something even bigger. And now I'm not saying you can't go back, right? We can't go back in time and change things, and I'm not saying to change it. But if you look at what he's doing now without them, when he came on the show here, he said that he found out that he wasn't with NRA TV the same way the rest of us did.
Right, yeah.
So they didn't, I think that once that, I don't know if they communicate with him now or not. We haven't had him back on. But since he came out of that, he's being himself and who he is. He's been working really hard and still building things. And I think somehow they did control his voice when he was in there. He says that they didn't, and he can do his own thing. And we saw him kind of doing his own thing. But I really feel like, you know, whenever I talked about it, and I'm not him in his position, but whenever I talked about it and thought about it, I was like, man, you know, it's so tempting, but I don't know if I really would do that. I don't want to do something where I can't walk away from it because it's so much money that I can't walk away from it. And my understanding of it is he was getting $1 million a year. You know, that's a tough thing to walk away from. And then there's all kinds of contracts and stuff involved in that. And I like the idea of being able to say whatever I want to say. I've lost money because I've said whatever I wanted to say. I've lost support from people. You know, what's that?
I can't imagine you being
Lola said.
I can't imagine you being a controversial character at all.
Yeah, I think Lola said lots, right? Yeah, Lola said lots. But I feel good because I feel like, hey, this whole time I get to be me and say what I want to say about stuff.
I got to do a child welfare check real quick.
Yeah, okay. So, what do you think about that, Patrick? You know, what did you think of? I know these are kind of like similar situations. If someone were to offer you a lot of money right now to have your own show, they're like, I think you make the Hank Strange podcast. You be out?
I wouldn't be out, but I would definitely do my own show. Why not?
You'll take the money?
I mean, there's no harm in it. If I get my own show where I can do the hell I want, hell yeah, I would do it.
Do you think
if somebody came to me and said that they need to control my narrative, I don't know that I would do that.
But they always say they don't want to control your narrative, right?
Well, when we get to that point,
we've done stuff where people told us, "Oh, we're not going to control your narrative."
Fuck off with that.
So the question is, like, they always say. I mean, I think Rogan said, "Oh, these guys are going to let me do whatever I want to do,"
and then he got caught saying, "Yeah, they didn't let me do this one and this one and this one and this one."
But then you're in the trap, right? Because you can't be the one to leave. If you leave, you lose the money. This is what happened to Dave Chappelle.
You need to have
Dave
it in the contract.
Took that big deal. Well, so what happened with Dave Chappelle at Comedy Channel is that he took this money, and people think, oh, they give you $100 million straight up. So if Joe Rogan took that deal, people think, oh, they gave him that money straight up. You know, the thing is, they don't give you that money, and if you walk away, you actually owe them money. And that's what happened with Dave Chappelle.
If you sign that contract,
away. Yes. Yeah. This is how contracts are. When you're talking about people, big business
no.
You know,
this is not how contracts are. This is how their contracts work.
Yeah. But they don't offer you $100 million unless they put things in there that ultimately.
Yeah, they're going to have stipulations, and you have to choose whether you're all right with whatever stipulations are in there. I would have a pro freedom. I will find some lawyer that would help me make sure that I'm happy with the contract, and we would read over it very. So carefully. Someone's
going to pay you, and we'll go to Smash Time to answer this as well. Someone's going to pay you $1 million a year to go over to their thing. If they can write you $1 million check, you don't think their lawyer is better than your lawyer?
Contracts are black and white. You need to. I trust the contract. If I'm happy with what I'm being served, then it's all depending on what it is. If the NRA came to me and said, "Hey, we want you to come work for us," I'd probably say no to that. I don't want to sell myself to that. If some other companies out there, and there are probably plenty of them, wanted to work with me, I would consider it depending on how
what
they
the
are.
Contract says.
Yeah, it's all based on. What am I getting paid? Is it worth my time? Is it worth? Because at some point you're selling out. Is it worth me selling
reputation.
out? Yeah. Is it worth me selling out to this company versus other things? There's a whole lot that goes in.
So once you tell your wife, and Smash Mouth, you could jump in here anywhere. But my point is this, and this is what I always thought: the minute I tell Lola these people are going to give me $1 million. No matter, first of all, if they're going to give you $1 million, you don't have enough money already to have your lawyer go through. Like, they've got more. Big bank takes little bank. I don't care what you think. This is how it works, right? So no matter how are you getting a better lawyer than their lawyer? But even if you get a good lawyer and your lawyer finds, like you're saying, the contract is plain, Your lawyer finds something in there, and he's like, "Oh, this is not good. They could do this to you." Okay, it's $1 million. You already told your wife, and they go, "Oh, you don't like that? Well, we can. You don't like a babyface Pete? We'll go get old man face X instead."
I would like to think that my integrity is worth more than money, but it's hard to say. It depends on
Once
what
you told your wife about the $1 million a year.
I don't tell Marley about what I'm making in certain things.
You messed up. It has to be like $10 million.
10 million is a lot of money.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's where you start hitting that $1 million a year. I'm not
wait. Yeah, we just leveled up.
10. We're starting to talk like, what are we going to need to do here?
20. I might go to prison.
Oh, you're really getting crazy now.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this, Mesh Time? Would you,
what's funny? Since I'm such a new YouTuber, I had a holster company reach out to me and say, "Hey, we want you to do this," and they sent me like a 4-page addendum. I'm like, I'm not signing that.
No,
I'm new.
No.
They're like, you can only review our holsters. You can only do this.
No, sorry.
I was like, man, I'm new. I'm only a couple months into this thing. It's like I don't want to get locked down.
Hell no.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to pay me? No, I don't think so.
Oh, absolutely not. You got to pay
I always
for
get made fun of.
rights.
I always get made fun of because I use those sticky holsters anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got a few sticky holsters.
See,
you got a ton of holsters.
Yeah, I got lots of different kinds of holsters. And I'll be honest with you guys, like a lot of people that I do things with, there is no contract. There are some people, there are some businesses out there, that we do stuff with, and we have technically a contract. But
I would encourage people to work with me on a one-off basis. That's what I say.
Yeah, that
you
sounds
just work one project at a time. If you're unhappy with delivery of one of the projects, then we can go our separate ways.
Yeah.
But
hey, that's another question. Since I'm brand new, and I'm sure there's other YouTubers out there that have just started getting into this, are there any pitfalls I should look out for? Because I'm pretty new, and I have a few things I'm reviewing, for companies. That's cool that they sent me. I thought, hey, man, that's awesome. They're sending me stuff, but is there anything I should look out for and stay away from?
So just I'm going to answer that, but just to end cap something that we're talking about here. For me, the biggest thing, and I have these conversations with Lola, I don't get into things with people where so we've got people sponsoring this particular show. Walther Arms is out there, lots of other people that come and help us do this. I don't like to get into things with people where if something goes wrong and they need to walk away from me, that it's going to be the end of the world for me. So obviously it's tough, right? Because we need money to pay for the things around here and make it happen. But I don't want it to be an end of the world situation. And they're like, hey, if you don't do this, or if you don't apologize or whatever, where I'm like, oh, wait a second, I can't do that. I won't be able to pay my bills, or, this is too much to lose. So that's how I look at it. That way they can do their thing. It might hurt a little bit, but I'm going to get over it.
One thing I found for me personally is I don't like reviewing or working on things that I don't like. Mm-hmm. So if I think there's something out, if somebody gets in contact with me and says, hey, I want you to review this, and I think it's a terrible product or I just don't like it, I'll say no. I won't necessarily give them the reason that, your product sucks, but it's just like, it doesn't fit. I don't I don't want to put negativity out there necessarily. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go out there and be like, nah, fuck this thing. Don't buy this. Mm-hmm. Because there may be somebody who does like it or has a use for it. But it's just not me.
Also, I think you should go slow on things. Well, I mean, I think it's up to you, but I would go slow on things. So
building relationships too. That's what's been good here.
Huh? It's a lot about
building relationships has been really good.
Yeah, it's a lot about building relationships. I think I understand what Patrick is saying. If I really don't like something and I'm talking to someone, I have to at least say to them, I don't like this thing. Can you, if we do this, can I help improve this thing? Is there something productive? Because I don't want to, I know what it is. Like there's dudes out there, there's men and women out there, right? Lola said she had she got a warning that she can't say there's dudes or guys. So that's why that's in my brain. But there's folks out there that they can't buy every gun in the world. I can't buy every gun in the world. But there's people out there, if I push them towards buying a gun, which is really what I don't want to do, and they spend their last money on that, and it's a piece of crap. They are the ones who are going to take the loss for that. And I know that. I've already done that when I started doing this, and I didn't know anyone. And, I had to go buy things and overpay for things, and then it didn't have that same value when I went to. So for me, I function off of that. So if a company is willing to try to make their thing better and own up to whatever they did, and we can work on that, and that's an opportunity for me to help make that thing better, I would go in that direction. But really, the relationship and taking your time and figuring out what's going on here is way more important than going, this is the most awesome thing in the world, check this out.
Well, I've decided to go more diplomatic with it because I do outside sales for a living. I've been doing it 20 years. And instead of burning bridges, I review it. And if it sucked and I didn't like it, I just wouldn't post a video. And I would give it back. I'm like, hey, no harm, no foul, man. But I don't like it. I won't dog them out, though, publicly, because that's not cool.
Yeah, I think...
The thing that I found is if anybody asks me for my opinion, I will give it to you in a heartbeat. If somebody asks me, hey, what do you think about this grip? I'll be like, that thing sucks. But I'm more than willing to say I tried it. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, I would have a little twist on that because I know lots of people do that where if they try out something and they don't like it, it doesn't go up on YouTube. Well, or it doesn't go out there in the world. I think the problem with that is then it's going, there's going to be a reflection to folks out there that so you like everything, and they may not understand that if you don't like things, you're not putting them out there, and then that's why you don't see the thing. So in other words, read between the lines. If you don't see something here, then I don't like it. Well, that's too complicated, right? They don't know. Like, did you get it? You didn't like it, or why is this thing? So
that's a good point.
For me, I would say, if you don't like something, you don't have to tear it apart, but you can still be honest or show what it was that happened with that particular thing. And it's up to so if the company made it and they made that thing and it's like that and they're mad at you, then they just get mad at you. They don't deal with you anymore or whatever. And you put that thing out there. If they really care about their product, they can work with you to make that thing better. And I think you find there's lots of things. I think there's been instances, for example, where there's companies where I like their products, but we're doing something with that gun, let's say, and something goes wrong, and we fix it, and I leave it in the video, or where we come across that thing and we're like, yeah, we had this problem with this, and we leave it in there, and those companies make me like them more when they don't get mad at me. As a matter of fact, we had an instance where a company ran into that issue that we showed in the video somewhere, and they're like, how did you guys deal with that again? And I said, go look at the video. Go look at the video at this point, because that's how we dealt with it.
I remember exactly what product that is. And I still like the gun. I had no problem with the gun. They just, one of the screws came loose in shipping, and the lever, the loading gate fell off. It fell into the action.
Yeah, mechanical things can go wrong. So what I'm saying is, I think that little bit of honesty helps everyone grow. If the audience has an understanding of that, but then also you don't go, this is the worst thing in the world. You know what? So for example, there's some guns that are not attractive. Why lie about it? I'll give you a straight up example. High points, not attractive, but they work. So this is the thing that I try to tell people. And by the way, they actually help us put on this podcast, and I'm telling you that I don't think that what they're now. Hopefully, the Yeet Cannon is going to get a little bit more attractive,
maybe
when it comes out. But it's not an attractive gun.
The carbine that I have has a cult following. People love that damn gun. I haven't posted the pistol video yet. I might shoot that this weekend. Redo it because I wasn't happy with how the first one turned out. But in the video when I first shot the high point pistol that I have, I made a point of telling people, and again, I need to reshoot it, but whatever. Not everybody can afford a $500 Glock. Not everybody's on that budget. $250 sometimes is a lot of money for people. So my point when I did the video was if that's all you got, penny wise, will this work for you? And I had good results with the pistol. I've had people say otherwise, but personally, my experience with the one, and I just got an off-the-shelf gun. It wasn't fancy, and it worked fine. So
yeah, my high point pistol is used. I bought it for less than $100, and it works. And I did have some issues with it because I tried to clean it and take it apart, and all the springs popped
Oh, they're
out.
not fun to do.
And High Point sent it to me, but
I shot a 9mm once, and it was weird.
Oh,
yeah. But they sent me the parts. So here's the thing. Like, let's be honest about what it is and let people know, like, hey, this is not the most attractive gun. Looks like probably like a hairdryer. You know, it's a big bulky gun, but it works, it functions, and it's affordable. And it's better for you to have a gun that works than no gun because you're waiting to get... And look, I'll be honest with you. There's folks out there in this gun world that if you have a Glock, they think that's a poor man's gun. So someone's going to say, oh, the High Point's a poor man's gun. Then to someone else, the Glock is a poor man's gun. And to someone else, you know, give me one of those real fancy guns out there. You know, they're going to be, oh, that's more expensive. They're going to go, oh, that's a poor... This, like a Cabot Guns 1911 is an expensive 1911 entry point, I think $3,500, right? Or $5,000 for a 1911. And I spoke to a 1911, and we've had them on the show. They are phenomenal guns. I've actually shot, so has Babyface.
It feels good in the hand.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels good in the hand.
I would drop $5,000 and buy a
If I had the money, I would own one. I just have never wanted to spend that kind of money on a gun like that. But if I had the money, I would own one in a heartbeat.
Here's the thing. I went out to an event. Actually, it was like something, Steven Seagal was at this thing, like a barbecue or something I went to. And I was hanging out there with the guy who makes like 1911s for Steven Seagal and other dudes. And I was telling him, he told me he makes 1911s. I'm complaining to him how people got mad because the Cabot Guns is too expensive. And he goes, you know what? Those are cheap guns because my guns start like at $40,000. And I have to even like you to make a gun for you. So you can't, even if you have the money, you can't. And this is the thing about the world. So for me, my mission is to be honest with people out there, to be honest with manufacturers, to be honest with the people, to be honest with myself. And I think that's more of a powerful thing than us just showing people this is awesome. This is all just the good stuff, and it doesn't, things don't go wrong or whatever. We've had things go wrong for different reasons with companies that we do stuff with and ones that we don't. And, I think the people, if they're really into buying these guns and you tell them the truth, they'll find out that was the truth, and they'll appreciate you for you telling them that. And it won't stop them from getting a gun that you may think it's terrible.
Right. I mean, I've bought guns that people said they were horrible, and I said, no, I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because
I bought a Rock Island Armory 1911, and I thought it ran flawlessly. I mean, the finish was a little rough.
You're getting no frills 1911.
Yeah, that's a poor man's 1911, I guess you would call it. And I loved it. I fired the heck out of that thing. It was great. Mm-hmm.
You can also you can hone it down, right?
I think I cut my on the slide though.
You cut what?
I think I cut my finger on the slide though. The edges are very sharp.
Yeah, they don't cut.
You got to do your own.
When I say cutting corners in 1911, they don't edge.
That's a 99% gun. You got to finish the last 1% at home.
Yes,
that's true.
I mean, really, the difference between a Cabot Guns and a Rock Island Armory gun is that 1% that takes 40 man hours to do is really the difference in the two.
Yeah, there's a massive. I mean, so first of all, a Cabot gun is made from one piece of steel, and everything fits together like.
Yep.
It's like a samurai sword master major gun. Yeah.
Wow. It's cool. It's really cool.
The slide is like glass.
It is. It feels like it's on ball bearings. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So
like, I have an old.
What's
Colt.
a good version of that?
Colt. What's a what?
What's like a good price point for like one of those Cabot guns? Like around $7,000-$8,000. You can get a decent one.
You can get entry level 3,500.
But that's the other company. That's not Cabot. That was their sister or their daughter company, whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
And those are, I think Cabot, an incredible bargain.
I think Cabot has 3,500. Let's look at their thing right now.
I thought Cabot started like 5, and then they had that other company that started at like 25 or 35. And those, they're not quite as hand polished, but they still have that feel, and they are incredible machines.
Mm-hmm. And
Cabot was unbelievable. It just everything that you don't like. I picked it up because I own a Series 70 Colt, which is it's a rattle gun. Every time you pull the trigger, it works. but the spring goes like when you run it, and it's not smooth. But when you touch that cabot, every line is like polished on it. All the edges are chamfered and deburred. Like everything is perfect. It's cool shooting one. And I was a huge naysayer.
I'm definitely have to check that out because, like I said, I'm still pretty new to the gun scene, and I'm definitely have to. I don't know if I can ever afford one of those, but
they're totally art pieces.
Yeah, I think you would just take your time. So, okay, the national standard here. Let me see if I can just roll this in while we're talking about it. So this is Cabot Guns' website. The national standard is $3,995. I mean,
$4,000 gun.
That's a beautiful gun right there.
It's attainable. That's one of those things that if you gotta have a high-end 1911.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 guns you can't buy when you buy it, but you're gonna be like.
But you can put that money aside and get it.
Yeah, sure. and that doesn't have to be a safe clean.
No, you need to shoot those.
Yeah. So I think that's probably the, that's probably the entry level for them, as Patrick was saying, because I see we're going up a little bit here.
They go up to millions of dollars.
$295, $295 for the Nero the Nero's nice, and that's
sweet.
Yeah. Gentleman's Carry. Okay, this is what I like right here. This icon, I just like the super simplicity of this gun.
Oh yeah.
Oh
wow.
So that's $5,000. I mean, Lola can save and buy me this, without a doubt. And I
got to get rid of a car. Would you trade out a car for one of those?
No, I can have it.
No.
I believe I can have it.
What do you drive? What's your what kind of cars are you into?
Yeah, we haven't got cars at all. Hank is a car guy.
Yeah, let's talk cars.
Hank is a huge car guy. I'm less of a car guy.
Yeah, well, I think you're a car guy. You grew up definitely grew up with a car guy. Yeah, but so right now my daily driver is a van, a Class B van, camper van. Mine is a Coachman Beyond, which is built on a Ford Transit. The Ford Transit vans. Work vans. It's built on that. That's pretty much what I drive every day. It's all-wheel drive, twin turbo, V6. My other car is like a Volkswagen, I like to say, but it's an Audi R8.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah, V10 Audi R8. So.
Oh, it's a V10.
Yeah, I like.
They have the best resale value. Those cars really hold their value.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love it. It's my second one that I've had. I started out with like the second gen, and this one that I have now is a first gen, which is a little bit more analog, and then I put tech stuff in it because Volkswagen Group is terrible when it comes to software. I think this is something I've learned about the Volkswagen Group. They're really good at engineering and building really high quality cars, but software stuff like their navigation systems and things like that are facada. Hopefully I said that right. Someone who's Italian out there will let me know. So, yeah, that's that's like what I have. That's what I'm into.
Oh, those are
great.
What do you have? I got a Nissan Altima.
Okay.
I have a Nissan.
It's a GTR I see in that thing. I was about to say, man, don't try to play me.
Yeah, so last year when I hit that rough patch, I mean, I was down to my last 2 guns, and the GTR was next on the chopping block. And I had actually prepaid months of that. Oh, I know. So I was like, man, what do I do? I was like, I need to get a job because I can't let that car go. And man, it's so much fun. I enjoy it.
Awesome. I've always wanted one, man. All-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive.
And it's Godzilla.
It makes you it makes you think you're a better driver. That's hard. Have you ever shot like a really high-end long-distance rifle? Which is like,
oh man, I can shoot great.
Yeah, I'm a sniper.
That's how the GTR is. It makes even a dummy a good driver, and it's just so much fun. I smile every time I drive it, and I drive all the time.
That's an icon. What is there in like some gen? I'm not deep enough into the GTRs to know what gens are.
It's the newest generation, so it's an R35.
Okay.
So the R34 is the one in Japan. Everyone's still trying to get. Then you have 33s and 32s that are
those are the classics. Those are the classic ones, right?
Right.
Yeah. So do you have it souped up? I mean, I think you can
tiny
get those
bit
over 1,000 horsepower.
Well, the problem with the GTR is there's steps. So if you buy the car and if you invest about $9,000 into it, you can get it up to like 670, 660 horsepower. Mine's at 661.
Mm-hmm.
And
661?
The next step up is where it gets super expensive. Mm-hmm. So you can't go any higher than that without, a $20,000 transmission. Mm-hmm. And then the engine work, and then you have to upgrade everything. So the next step up is about $55,000 to $60,000 more. So I'm fine where I'm at. I'm good. I bought it with those mods already, so I didn't have to tinker with it at all. I just did cosmetic stuff to it.
Okay, yeah, that's not bad though. 600 plus horsepower with all-wheel drive is better than like 900 horsepower rear-wheel drive. But
everyone wants the ratio on the freeway.
Yeah, I don't know if Patrick would argue that. Patrick's a Mustang guy. I don't know,
I have a 2018 Mustang 2.3 liter EcoBoost, and I'm very happy with my car.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have that same motor in my van.
No, you have You have the truck engine. You have the dual.
Oh, I got the bigger one. The bigger one.
Yeah, you have the one that's in the Ford F-150.
Oh yeah, in the Raptor.
So since you're a Mustang guy, what do you think about that Mustang SUV they have?
Why are you starting?
I didn't hear that. I missed the whole.
What do you think about that Mustang SUV? Don't they have like a Mustang SUV?
Excuse me. It just went past me. I can't even hear what you're saying because it doesn't exist in my brain. It's just.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not a Mustang.
The Mach-E you're talking about, it looks good.
Right.
I don't even listen. I hear Chinese coming out of both of you right now.
He hears wah. Listen,
that's all I hear. You guys sound like Charlie Brown teachers right now.
It's a good-looking crossover. People like Patrick, who are diehard Mustang dudes, don't feel it deserves a Mustang badge, right? Is that what your problem?
They could have done anything else with it. I don't know why they had to.
Oh, so he's hardcore Mustang.
Oh yeah,
it's a sports car. It's not a crossover. God.
Can I say something? I think Patrick has heard me say this before. The Mustang design is one of the best looking designs in the world right now. The way that the
current
looks.
Mustang.
Yes,
I like it. Yeah, I'm happy with mine.
It's incredibly good looking. If you look at that, I think it's the BMW, one of the 8, like M8 or something like that. It looks like a Mustang. They should be sued. They basically stole the look of a Mustang. If you look at
it has the same look, but what, $100,000 or something for it? It's expensive.
It's more expensive. Yeah. It's all-wheel drive. That's what the Mustang is missing. I think Mustangs need to be all-wheel drive.
So, Smash, if you don't know, Hank is obsessed with all-wheel drive. He wants every car, everything he owns, to have all-wheel or four-wheel drive, one of the two.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And bullpups.
My wife is actually looking at a Subaru right now because they're all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
But Hank would be on board.
It rains a lot in Texas, so all-wheel drive really comes in handy.
Yeah.
If you got the weather, it makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. Now,
So you're a Mustang guy. That's funny. I like going to Mustang meets because at the end when everyone's pulling out, there's someone's going to crash or
have you seen the videos they make Mustang owners look like jackasses? Because there's always you can, for anybody watching that doesn't know, you can go on YouTube right now and look for like Mustang crashes. And there are tons of videos of people like squealing their tires coming out of a meet and then like fishtailing and running into a tree. Mm-hmm. It's really funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Corvettes too. Corvettes, Mustang.
Yeah, Ray Bozzolo says the Mach-E is a Mustang. 50 Ford guy here. So there you go. Listen, I think Mustangs are cool, but they need all-wheel drive, man. This is what Mustangs are missing. I had a Challenger. It's what Challengers are missing. They're not all-wheel drive. It's what was wrong with the Hellcat, or the Red Eye that's out there. Your dad has a. What's your dad's called?
He has a Hellcat Red Eye. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a Hellcat Red Eye. 2019 Hellcat Red Eye. Mm-hmm. But you got to remember that target market is not the European sports car type of person that would have all-wheel drive.
No, your dad.
The target market for that is
cruise.
No. It's for people that want to squeal the tires, and that's what you have. You can't have all-wheel drive if you want to just.
How much has Papa P squealed those tires?
Has it since COVID? I don't think he's driven it once. I think he's still got 400 miles.
Oh wow!
I can chirp tires all the way through 5th gear, but they won't like burn out. But
that thing you can basically take the tires right off of it if you're not careful.
I'm not trying to diss Papa P here at all.
He won't take it in rain because he's worried about the rain getting it dirty. He doesn't want to have to keep cleaning it.
This is a true muscle car dude.
So COVID came out, and he wasn't worried about COVID so much as when last summer when all the rioting happened, he was like, I don't want to go run people over. Like, what if somebody comes up and starts hitting on my car? I'm gonna have to run them over. I'm like, where are you driving? Are you driving in the hood with your car? Like, what?
That happened to me.
You got people riding in front of you?
No, I had just had the GTR wrapped red, and this guy's like, hey, man, I'm going to come shoot the car. Meet me downtown Houston. Okay, cool. So I'm sitting in front of the CVS, and all of a sudden this huge group of like 50 guys go running past, and one stops and looks at me. I'm like, oh, man, I'm in the – what day is it?
Time to start up. We got to go.
And I know. I was like, we got to go, man. Because the city hall was right next door, and they were like burning it down or something. They were protesting. And I was like, oh, man, I just got it wrapped. I don't want to get it trashed. I get murdered. So I was like, yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah. But they didn't come after you, though, right?
No. But the one guy stopped and he was staring at me. I was like, yeah, I got to go this way.
I'm in the wrong neighborhood.
I don't care what car I'm driving and how much I love that car. You try to come get me, you're going to get a piece of that car. That car.
Well, Florida, didn't they make it legal now where you can run people over?
Yeah, we just.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that's what we want to do. Let's not,
I mean,
if it's just passive,
this is not the run you over state.
Yeah, I'm running somebody over. If somebody's trying to beat my windows in, you're either getting run over or you're getting some hot lead. Like one of the two.
I think it's protection of. It's along the lines of stand your ground, which people think is a bad thing, and people think everyone in Florida gets killed by we're all in shootouts every day, just going around.
Right.
I think it makes it a more polite society here, and leave people alone, and don't go after people in their cars. And if you go after someone who's in their car, whether they're by themselves or with their family or whatever it is, what happens to you is your own damn fault.
It's so simple.
Yeah,
I learned to screw with people.
I learned a long time ago during the riots when Reginald Denny got pulled out of his semi down the block.
That was in the 90s one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got a fire extinguisher on his head, and now.
So as a kid in New York, I saw that. People. Yeah, as a kid in New York, I saw that during those riots, and I cried. I was like, why did they do this to this guy? What did this guy do to them? What did this guy have to do with the cops and the situation that happened with Rodney King, except that he was white? Like, what are we talking about?
Absolutely.
If a black guy does something to someone in a white community and white people find the first black guy and, oh, wait a second, that's something really horrible we don't want to do, then we don't want to do that to any human being.
That was a weird time as a kid watching that. It was just weird to see it. I got to see that, and then I watched the that bank robbery live in downtown LA where they had those machine guns and they had all that body armor on, and nobody could stop.
It was like the movie Heat. Yeah.
Yep.
I thought it was a movie. It was crazy.
Cops had was that the FBI that tried to help too? Or no, the FBI that was the FBI shooting was in Miami. That one. But they were ill prepared. They had revolvers.
The LA one, they had revolvers and shotguns, and these guys were just mowing them down.
Yeah,
completely ill prepared.
Yeah. Boss Hog is he says is smashing Houston because I live in Spring. So there you go.
Nice. I'm in Spring myself.
Boom! You guys are neighbors. Connection made.
Neighbors, good people.
Yeah. Who said that?
Boss Hog. He's
Boss
good
Hog.
dude.
Oh yeah. Boss Hog's a nice guy.
Yeah. He's not. If just in case you're wondering, if all of a sudden a dude named Boss Hog starts knocking on the door.
What's weird is when I go to Academy now, I was there with my kids, and this guy's like, "What's up, Smash Time?" And now my daughter, she's 6, she tells everyone I'm a famous YouTuber. I'm like, please stop saying that. That's so bad. She tells all her friends in school. I'm like, please stop. Don't.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, that's fantastic.
Not really. I love her to death.
Yeah, I don't know who Robert Vick is. Robert Vick says, who is Babyface and who is Hank Strange? So you want to answer that?
Oh, Robert Vick's my buddy. He's a good dude. He's one of my viewers.
Awesome. Shout out to him. Babyface, who
and this
are
is just water, by the way. Everyone
cool.
kept asking in the chat. They're like, what is that?
Yeah.
Just water.
I had another big nose tonight. This is Swamphead Brewery is a local place. Oh, hold on. Come on, camera. There you go.
Yeah, you tried to get Lola to drink this thing.
It was too hoppy for her.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing. Yeah, you tried.
I thought Lola likes mixed drinks. She doesn't like beer, right?
Yeah.
Likes a good whiskey sour. She's a classy lady. She's not a beer drinker.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, here's another thing. American Gun Chick is out there. She says, "Hey, it's Smash. He was training in Bay next to my last class. I was hosting a few weeks ago. Also, woot woot.
It's a small world. So I was out there with Greg Performance Shooting, and then he goes, "Hey, man, is your friend next door?" I'm like, "Who? Oh, she's like a famous YouTuber." I'm like, "Oh, it might be that American Gun Chick." He goes, "Yeah, that's her." I'm like, "Oh, man, what a small world."
You didn't go over there and introduce yourself to Brickell? She's cool. She's easy.
Oh, man. We chatted a little bit on...
She's not easy. She's easy to talk to.
Got to correct yourself.
No, we had chatted a little bit on IG, and she's super cool. But then, she was all business, man. She was out there with her team, and she was training. And I was like, hey, I'd bother her like during a break, but she was focused. So.
Yeah, American Gun Chick is focused. So don't let the cuteness fool you. She will.
They're in that general area now for a while, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah. Her and Joe were trying to get me to come out to that area when I saw them when I was in Texas.
Texas is pretty nice,
man. I was like, okay.
Texas is the best.
Yeah, I think.
Other than Austin,
I think they were trying to set me up like I would wake up and then I'm in like a bathtub with ice.
You're missing kidneys.
Yeah.
Last time I was on business in Austin, that was a horrible
Austin is weird. Austin is the only city in Texas you'll see more than 3 Priuses in a parking lot.
It was awful because they. It's funny. Most of the people I was there for business, so I didn't have a car. I flew out of Tampa. Most of the Uber drivers I had are long-term Austin residents, and all of them complained constantly about how Google and Apple and all of them have moved in and taken over, and the local populace is getting pushed out. Housing prices are way up. Homeless population is everywhere. It was just
booming.
Yeah. So someone says that my mic boom, Roddy 37, Hank, your mic boom is up. Can barely hear you.
You sound fine to me.
Let me know for the folks out there whether or not you can hear me. He says your mic is not working, so you guys let me know whether or not
somebody's screwing with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know. You guys can let me. Okay, Boss Hog is now putting out his address. Boss Hog, don't put out.
Do not do that.
Luetta Road. Uh-oh. Actually, Luetta's a pretty long road, so I don't know.
Yeah. You don't want shady people like American Gun Chick rolling up on your
showing
street.
up at your front door.
Yeah, she'll be out there making a music video.
Yeah, weird times of the night.
In your front yard. You be careful.
Oh no, they're both on Luetta.
Oh boy!
God, they just made another connection.
Oh my gosh!
Probably neither one of them is.
Does it have like rough parts of town or something?
So I described my house on my chat, and someone found it on Google Maps and told me where I live.
That's creepy.
He's actually a really cool guy, but I was like, wow, that was weird.
Did you just describe what it looked like, or how much detail?
No, because I did my very first live. I was in the backyard, and I just had the camera on a fire, and they're just chit chatting with people, hanging out, and so I have this big fire pit. Now everyone's going to go on Google Earth and look for my house. So I had this big fire pit, and he's like, "Yeah, I found it." I'm like, "Oh, cool."
That's some creepy shit.
Yeah.
They just were like, "Oh, look for the house with the fire pit."
I think any of us are easy to find, and with technology and stuff like that.
Yeah, just go to Academy Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm right there.
Yeah.
So
does Academy like do they take care of you, man? Because you're bringing people into the store, you're advertising them.
Yeah, you gotta be. You're getting famous now.
Do they help you out with this at all? Are they friendly to you?
No, I mean I can sneak a camera in there once in a while, but I haven't reached out to anybody at Academy now.
Oh,
they're always
so the people who work in the store don't realize you're doing videos in there. Or?
Oh yeah, some of them do. Yeah, but there's we know all the managers by name. I brought them donuts one day.
Okay. Oh, that's a good thing, because then you start getting text messages of, "Hey, Ammo's showing up at 7 a.m. Get over here."
Well, I can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah, exactly. I know how
but from my house, I can go to probably 4 academies within the hour, maybe 5. And we are spoiled in Houston as far as ammo. I know the rest of the nation is still hurting really bad, and I feel bad. But
there are
Houston, we're doing all right.
I'm in Gainesville. Hank's outside of Gainesville in an even smaller town. But there are times where I came from Tampa, which is a pretty big city. And there are times that I miss big city living where you have stuff like that. Like I could go to 4 different academies in no time. Oh, yeah. But then I go home to visit my parents and the traffic is terrible. People are rude. I'm just like, I don't know if I miss it that bad.
Yeah, I picked up. Let's see. I picked up.
Let's see some ammo here before we get out.
I picked up 6 of these last week.
So 200 rounds. So
easily.
What did that box go for?
$64.
Oh, okay.
It's not a bad price. That's a little above pre-pandemic.
You know, Blazer. It's this 9mm. I think this is the 124 is 1850. Which I miss the days of it being $10.99 and $9.99. But
in time, I think in time it will come back down. It's just how long is that going to take with the rhetoric going on?
We'll see. Yeah,
it did. Remember during Smash, were you into guns during just after the Sandy Hook stuff, 2013?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I remember those times were terrible trying to get stuff, and it came back down. Right. It just took time, which I think is going to happen again. It's just going to take a long time, and with the rhetoric continuing, who knows how long that will be? Because every time rhetoric pushes, people go, "Oh, I got to buy ammo."
People are so conditioned to pay the extra price, though. Like academies raised their price 5 times since the pandemic, and people are glad to pay it because at least we're not paying $30 a box. I was in Atlanta doing my walk around, and some of these stores had $85 a box for $45. It's crazy.
I do a lot of reloading, and I've been without primers for a while. I started following a reloading Discord where they post deals as they come in, and I picked up powder at a really good price. I'm happy with that, but like today, primers came back in stock at a couple different places. A normal box of primers, for anybody out there who doesn't reload, a normal price for a box of primers, 1,000 primers should be about $35. That was a good price. They came in stock at Midway today for $75, and I could have bought some, but I'm just like, do I really need them that bad to pay like $2.5?
Here's the question, but are prices ever going to go back to pre-pandemic levels?
They will.
I don't think they will. I don't think they're going to go all the way down there.
I got lunch. I got a steak. I got a Texas steak dinner. Babyface Pete. I will bet you by the end of 2021, they will still be at least 20% higher.
I'm with you there. I'm with you there. I don't think it's going to be during the Biden administration. It's going to be hard for prices to come down. 2024, if a Republican gets in that is truly pro-gun or at least not anti-gun, I think prices will settle back in. It really depends on what happens in the next year because they're pushing hard to get things passed right now.
The thing that he could do easily without anything is just ban the imports of ammo and firearms from different countries. He could do that with a stroke of a pen, and there's nothing you could do about it.
Yep, absolutely.
Why did he do that? That's the low-hanging fruit.
The problem is the next administration, even if a Republican does get in, that's probably not going to be their first.
I think that's on the books. I think that's on the books for them. They're afraid to go too far because I think, yes, at some point here we are going to get this to swing back. Maybe we'll get, President DeSantis or something like that.
I would love it. He's been doing good here.
Here's the problem.
Your guy's governor in Texas has been pretty awesome too.
He's all right.
And the attorney general has been pushing back a lot.
Yeah. The thing
he's all right.
I think a lot of these companies, they built in because remember, look, the companies have to get more machinery, hire more people, and all that kind of stuff. They're not going to come off those prices easily because they have to do that to compensate for the ramp up that they had to do, which we want them to do so that the prices do come down. But going back to pre-pandemic is when we have too much in the system.
That's what's going to happen.
See that, yeah.
I think
but we're not going to see that for a while. We're not going to see too much in the system for at least like the next year. We won't see too much in the system.
Prices have come down. I think people have gotten to the point where they have just blown their load too heavily and are running out of money on spending ammo. Because I noticed beginning of the year prices were people were paying upwards 85 cents a round for 5.56.
Mm-hmm.
If you catch the deals online when they go up, you can now get them at 50 cents a round, 55 cents a round, which is still overpriced, but it's coming back. It's trending in the right direction.
Oh, man. We were buying. Sorry. So this is a popular one. This Winchester. This started out for $1.19, then it went to $1.29. I think today, did I buy this today or yesterday? I bought 2 of these yesterday. I think they were $135 a piece.
That's expensive.
It's expensive, but I don't know. I'm shooting a lot this weekend, and I don't want to go into my stash. So
yeah, no. I would rather shoot up new ammo than stuff that I have stashed away.
Plus, I know a lot of friends now that they've just reached their limit. I know a lot of people that are just like, hey, I've reached my limit. I just buy what I shoot now, and then that's it. Like I'm doing an event this weekend, and I need ammo to give away for like raffles and stuff. So
it's going to take time, but I'm confident prices will come down in time. And the one problem that we have right now is a lot of new people in the market that don't know historic pricing and didn't know that just before the pandemic, you could buy 1,000 rounds of brass 9mm for $180 off of Palmetto State. You know, people weren't aware that was a thing. Those were the days. $180 for a case of ammo. And I do think we'll go back there. It's just it all unfortunately all depends on politics right now.
Night Train says he bought that same box of Winchester for $149 a few weeks ago.
Oh wow! Like I said, Houston, we're spoiled.
Yeah,
Thank God for Academy.
Yeah, see what happens when we start talking about guns and we can't even stop. You can't stop talking.
Oh God, it's already 9:05. Yeah, we gotta wrap it up.
Awesomeness. Yeah. I know there's let me see. There's a bunch of people out there. Shout out to Richard Monder. I see him out there. He's listening to us or watching us in England.
It's like 2:30, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, jolly old England. Yeah, man. I hope this. I really do hope this gets better. We're gonna have to make some changes in order to really see that. Otherwise, it's gonna stay like this. Because yes, there's a lot of new gun owners that came online, and if you're a new gun owner and you hate these prices, make sure. Think about your voting practices also, please.
Think about your voting and stop buying. If everybody just chilled out, there would be a massive surplus. Prices would come down. It's pure economics. The demand is high, the price goes high. Like it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The ammo, the thing that's really interesting about ammo, this is a place they could try to squeeze people off. But I think in general in America, there's a lot of ammo. Because I know people always say when we have these conversations about ammo, this is how they're going to shut us down. There is reloading, not if you can't get the primers. I hope companies in America start making more primers and stuff like that so that we can get that big compensation to come into this. Because right now, people can't even do a lot of reloading, as Patrick is saying, because of what's happening. But, you know, I do see how people can try to squeeze us out by the ammo situation, but there's still a lot of ammo here. Just hopefully it doesn't start going the way of Bitcoin stocks. And
right. I would play the race card. As soon as they started banning cheap ammo, I'd be like, hey, that's racist because that hurts.
It hurts lower. Absolutely. It hurts poor people, lower income people.
I think we need to play the race card with everything until they stop.
The left plays it on the right constantly. Yeah. So, maybe it's time for their own medicine.
Yes, that's what I think. Anyway, listen, this was a great conversation. I hope that you'll come back here, Smash Time, and hang out.
Oh, anytime. This has been a blast.
Yeah. And then hopefully Lola's saying, I wonder if greed and or stockpiling is adding to increase in price.
It happened back after 2013. I don't know. I think people are hoarding for themselves. I don't know a lot of people that are buying secondhand ammo like they did 10 years ago.
I think it's just all the new gun owners that came in. So
I agree.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gun owners that are new that have big wallets. A friend of mine, I was having dinner with him. And he's like, hey, I just bought 5,000 rounds of 223. Cool. How much you pay? $4,100.
That's nuts.
He's got more money than time, and he doesn't know. He just got into the sport.
And that's a benefit. If you're the guy who bought ammo before when it was cheap and you're selling it for that, good for you, man. Capitalism right there.
This is, what other proof do you need beyond the fact that even lefties have, during the pandemic, during the riots, have decided, I think I want a gun in my house. What more proof do you need that Americans want their firearms? You know, they love their guns.
Yeah. So Lola, by the way, wants me to remind everyone that she puts ammo deals up on Lola's deals, so you guys can go check out Lola's deals.
Oh, nice.
And get some ammo deals out there. I know not everyone's gonna like that. If you're the guy who bought ammo for $5 a box or something like that back in the olden days,
I can't even look.
Those days are gone for a while.
Yeah, we also had inflation. I know we need to get off this subject, but inflation, people. All these checks getting given out, and not really to the people, but the money that they're writing to other people, that's inflation. We're never going to see prices like we saw before. So, by the way, was it Armament and Axe's birthday or something like that? You can tell me Armament and Axe's. If I saw someone talking about a happy birthday or whatever there, so let me know if that's indeed the case so we could do that before we actually get out of here. Like I was saying just now, I hope that Smash Time you come back and hang out with us.
Anytime.
Yeah, man. If we're in Texas, we'll come out and see you. If you're actually close to American Gun Chick and Boss Hog and all that, maybe we'll make a thing out of it.
Oh man, I'll carry the bags.
All right, awesome. Remember you said that when it comes time when I come out with my bags.
You're like, yo, get my bags.
No, I wouldn't do that. So here's what I want to do here to help everyone out. I'm going to start with Babyface P. Tell the folks out there, Patrick, where they can find you, how they can support you, when your videos are going up, etc. Let's share that out with the people.
YouTube.com/babyfaceP or Instagram is baby_faceP. Videos normally go up on Mondays. I have a lot of stuff, so there might be some Friday videos coming out soon. But yeah, mostly Mondays.
Okay, mostly Mondays. There you go. Make sure you guys, subscribe to Babyface P here. I see the channel's doing well. You know, people enjoying
nicely.
the Babyface P experience.
You got more to come. I have lots of projects. We're gonna make more stuff. It's just a matter of wanting to do it.
Yeah. So now we'll go to Smash Time here and find out. I don't know whether or not it's Armin and Axe's birthday or not. He's got to tell me here. But so Smash Time. Where can the people find you? How can they communicate with you? What social media are you on, etc.?
Oh, I have an Instagram. It's following Babyface P. He was so polished, man. It was so smooth. So if you want to find me on YouTube, just do like Smash Time Ammo. Because if you just put in Smash Time, it's like a ballet company. You don't want to do that one.
Are you sure that's not you? Are you sure?
Well, if the tights fit, right?
Yeah.
And then as far as Instagram, it's smash_time. Reach out to me. I answer almost every single comment on my videos. I try to anyway, because if they're going to take the time out to comment, I'm going to try and take the time out to respond. So
yeah,
it's a lot of fun. Come hang out.
Yeah, absolutely. I really do appreciate you coming on. We need to spend, more time doing this, and I want to check out more of your stuff and all of that. I hope the folks out there will look into it as well. And then you do your own kind of podcast, right? You go live, right?
Yeah, I've been doing it. I've been having a good time, and that's actually how I found your channel. Is I interviewed a couple people, and then I'm like, man, is anybody else doing this with 2A people? And then, man, Hank Strange is everywhere. So I was like, let me check this eclectic gentleman out.
Yeah, internationally known, locally accepted.
I got a lot of videos to catch up on.
Okay, yeah.
But it's funny because it's never... All the ones I watch are not 2A. They're just complete oddball subjects, and I love it, man.
Yeah.
People get tired of hearing the same old gripes.
Yeah.
You do. I don't watch a whole lot of GunTube anymore. I subscribe to people just to kind of keep up with them, but
right.
Yeah.
It gets exhausting.
Yeah, I try to keep up, and if someone's doing something different or fun, but you want to unwind from this. So, but I still want to make sure that I'm out here, helping the folks who are just coming into this, or even the folks who've been in it for a while, doing our part. I think when you help people, then the universe helps you.
Right. So, karma.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do here. It wasn't Armin and Axe's birthday. Happy birthday to whoever out there. It's your birthday. I don't know where I saw that or what happened.
It's somebody's birthday, guaranteed.
Yeah, happy birthday to someone. Big thanks to Walther Arms. I'm going to go to the end and come back, and then Smash Time, we want you to hit us with your words of wisdom as we go out, so I'm going to run the end in right now. All right, guys, I don't know why it's showing that crazy camera. Ignore that. But we're smash those thumbs ups, ring the bell. That's so crazy. That's
at least someone looking up the pant leg or something.
I think that camera is on the floor or something like that over here. But we will rip the audio out of this. I completely forgot about that. It's literally sitting on the table. It's looking at a bag on the table. We'll rip the audio out of this and put it up on iTunes and all the other places you listen to audio. And we're enjoying everyone out there around the world listening to us. Smash Time, hit us with some words of wisdom.
I just want to try and impart to you guys, build your local network, because when all else fails, you have to rely on each other. And you spend that time, don't be shy at the range, talk to people, exchange numbers, and, go old school, build your local network, because it will help you tenfold. Some of the best trades I've gotten have just been from other gun tubers or just gun people that, they don't have those guns that take those calibers, and I do. So build your local network.
Yeah, you never know what you could trade with American Gun Chick, man. When you're looking for like a pink rhinestone gun, or some pink rhinestone headsets.
You never know, right?
You hit the jackpot over there. All right. Listen, thanks to everyone for joining us. We really appreciate you guys. Hope you check out Babyface P and Smash Time. We are out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Thank you.